this tends to be really weird when this happens, but yeah. Because the thing is, there's no physical problems, usually. Well, there's no problems physically in terms of any connections or any of the software. It's just really weird.
Is it just OBS itself?
Probably, yeah.
Oh no.
Really weird.
Is it
That's
just
weird,
OBS
then.
itself?
Okay, now it's working. Now it's working. Okay.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
Also, just tell me if like my volume's like also like a bit lower or something. I can raise my input if you want to.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine in that regard. Because
Okay.
I've got you in the sweet spot for volume, actually.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
For myself, I'm a bit on the lower end, but it's usually okay, because if I enunciate myself a bit stronger, then it actually, yeah, it picks up a lot better.
Oh, okay. See.
So typically speaking, yeah, this should be fine for volume and whatnot. Man, having a double up on, or restarting the stream, man. Been a while since I've had to do that. Anyway. Alright then. Let's see. Alright. We may as well get started then with the simple questions.
Yeah, sure.
Alright then. So, feel free to introduce yourself.
Okay, so for those who don't know me and who don't know me on chat, I'm Kisaragi Xeno. I'm a barista VTuber, as well as there's something that I haven't talked about in terms of my lore, so it's still redacted.
Oh.
But yeah,
Okay. Redacted.
so yeah, that's why she always like me to like the redacted barista.
Redacted barista.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah.
Because yeah, one thing I noticed up front was just Alt F4. Wait, there are two baristas in here. One's also a guild master, but what makes the other one then? In which case,
Well, it's actually on the. I guess it's more. You can say they're both my jobs, but I'd like rather being barista rather than the other one.
I mean, when I saw your design sheet, I got a bit suspicious, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
because yeah, when I saw that, I was like, he has that there on his side.
Yeah,
Anyhow.
it's something.
Yeah. it is interesting. But yeah, you've gone with a very straightforward introduction nonetheless. Anyhow, let's move on regarding that, in which case, what inspired your design currently?
Currently, my design is actually. I like suit and ties and everything.
Fair.
It's actually one of my stuff that I really like, since it gives this clean look and everything. But then I cannot always go for like the suit and tie look. So like having like an ape. Oh shit! Actually, I don't say it. Having like an apron would like be also like apron and just dress jacket like a normal barista.
But suit and tie, yeah, it seems more office man, more
Yeah, oh yeah. In a way, you can call it like it's like a salary man, but also some people say like it's more of like a hitman feel as well.
Ah, that was definitely the impression I got when I saw your reference sheet.
Yeah, so
I was like,
that's
yeah,
the thing.
I was like, this man's a hitman. This man's a hitman.
Well, maybe I am. That's why.
It was either this man's a hitman or this man is some kind of law enforcement. Was the impression I got, pretty much right off the bat.
But yeah, people who see my references will have like this impression that he's totally this dude or something, or people would say like I look like Zen from Mystic Messenger and everything.
Mystic Messenger. It's been a while since I've heard that one.
Yeah, I had like a shit on naturally like, oh, this one's like Zen and everything. But first of all, I haven't played that game, so that's why I don't know. Just the only reason why I know about it was like was people mentioning it. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much how my design is suit and tie. Like I like it clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair enough. Suit and tie. It's a very clean, very sharp look. For myself, it was very simple to do the pixel art of. I was like, suit and tie. Okay, that's very straightforward. I don't have to do anything too fancy with the hair or too fancy in terms
Yeah.
of accessories either. So it's like, yeah. Oh, Christ. Hey, one. Oh, mate. Okay. Anyhow, yeah. When it comes to the pixel designs of characters, yours was very simple, very straightforward. Not too many colors to work with, actually. So it's kind of
because
it's kind of hard to make it pop out, actually. So I was like,
yeah, it's literally just black, white, gray.
Yep. It was a case of, okay, I need to interlay some other color into this black so that it's not like pure black and looks really weird. So I went with more of a really...
It's actually
Mhm.
it's actually like the color is more of dark blue actually.
Yeah, that's what I went with. I mixed in a bit of dark blue into the pixel art and I was like, yeah, this works. Because I figured, yeah, that's the kind of impression I got from the reference sheet. But then apart from that, it was very almost monochromatic in terms of design because it goes from like silver, black, white, that kind, essentially.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm really bad with colors, that's why.
So you just went with whatever you... Yeah, fair. Like, personally, colors is one of my stronger suits, I guess. At least when it comes to designing stuff. Because color theory is one of those things that I did end up studying extensively for work-related matters, anyhow.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's see. Let's move on to some of your content productions. You do a fairly wide variety of streams, from just chatting to rigging to playing games and whatnot. What kind do you prefer?
I actually prefer like doing live 2D rigging. It's pretty much like you're doing something but with just chatting. So it's like a double purpose stream as well. Then probably like the other one that I really like is doing actually Apex streams.
Apex. Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty much everyone in Alt F4 likes playing Apex.
Yeah, that's a trend I've noticed as well.
Yeah.
So CEO was especially criminal of this as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. I think especially Shio, who literally just play Apex every time, every collab, every stream.
Because it got to the point where the week after I interviewed him, he was scheduled to play something else, then it suddenly turned into Apex anyway. I was like, man, this guy plays way too much Apex, but
yeah, he does. I mean, the level shows. He's like, he's currently like the maxed out level for Apex.
That should be around 500, I think.
Yeah, it was 500. Yeah.
It was like I've got about 1,000 hours on my own account, but it's only at like 400 and something, which means oh god.
Yeah, he does. Currently, I'm currently like around my 600, 700 hours of Apex. So if you're going to compare it with Shio, who's like 1,000 something already, it's way different. You can see that
I played since around launch, basically, like second week or first week of launch, I think it was, that I started playing Apex. But yeah, I've always just played it very casually, so I am a terrible shot that happens to be a high level.
Oh yeah, actually, I also played by the launch of Apex. It was like literally just like the first day of Apex, and it was hard playing like with randos since it's a 3-man cell, so it's like three players on team. So it's way different.
It's way different from with pings and whatnot.
That one as well. Because you can say I've come playing Overwatch, which is 6-man. So it's like it's really way different because you can only like move as a tree not like as a 6.
Yeah, there's less cohesion usually. So
Also, I guess it's also being a battle royale. It's way different. It's way different since for Overwatch it's just the 12 players fighting each other,
Mhm.
while Apex you're going to fight with 60.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so it's way different.
Like the thing with Overwatch though is I could never really get used to the shooting in Overwatch, no matter what I tried. Like,
Actually, it's similar to Apex. Actually,
oh really?
I
Because
kind of
yeah, Apex threw me off for a completely different reason, just in the fact that I had played way too much Titanfall beforehand and was like, ah yes, these weapons that I'm very familiar with, but then no, these weapons don't act anywhere near what I'm familiar with.
oh yeah, the move, especially like the movement as well with Titanfall.
Yeah,
Since
yeah, definitely.
wasn't on Titanfall you can run on walls.
Titanfall, you had a wall run and a double jump. Your slide also didn't kill your momentum, but boosted your momentum instead.
Oh yeah, it's like way different.
Yeah, like you could ski in Titanfall, so that pretty much meant you could just go along and keep bunny hopping and increasing your speed. In comparison to Apex, where you actually lose speed after your first few seconds of slide.
Yeah, that's like I haven't played Titanfall, but from the comparison video that other people post with Titanfall and Apex, you can see like the difference and everything.
It is a massive difference, especially in terms of weapons. Like, when you pick up an alternator in Titanfall, you realize this thing two-shots people. You pick up an alternator in Apex, and it's a case of, wait, this thing takes like 12, 15 shots to actually down someone.
Yeah.
Because for a simple
I-
reference, alternator was a damage value of almost 70-something in Titanfall, compared to it being
Oh,
like
wait,
20-something in Apex.
was it similar? Was it similar with like Wingman?
Oh, Wingman... Wingman, it was 2 body shots, I think. Before. Yeah, it
Oh.
would have been 2 body shots or 1 headshot to kill someone with a Wingman. In Titanfall. In Apex, it's 2 headshots or like 5 body shots. Something like
Yeah,
that.
if I recall, was it 4 body shots?
Yeah, 4. Around there. Because they've shifted the numbers a lot. Because they've had Skullpiercer in there, they've removed Skullpiercer, they've changed headshot multipliers, body shot multipliers, the entire works for that gun. Because yeah, it is
That's what
very strong.
one of the reason why they rework is probably because it's also battle royale. That's why.
Battle
imagine,
Royale
like-
is just, man.
It's different, especially like I guess if you played PUBG,
Oh yeah, PUBG's got a very different feeling to it, usually.
that one as well. It's way different from other shooter because you have the third perspective. I don't really like the POV on PUBG actually.
Third person? Third
Yeah,
person...
but I never really like third person.
Let's see, in PUBG's case, I think it works simply because it adds to the more horror element of the thing. It's like, oh, at any moment, something can just pop up
Someone
in your
made me.
peripheral vision and screw you over, essentially. Because PUBG was definitely more about hiding compared to fighting.
Hiding, yeah, that's true.
'Cause,
That's why a lot of people are using Car 98.
yeah,
And if you got shot by Car 98, you're down, and you cannot do anything anymore.
yeah. Like, PUBG is more a case of hide for as long as possible, then break out and fight. Or fight to the death. And if you win, you win. If you lose,
You win.
it was fatal in like 2 seconds anyway.
Yeah, it's like go back to the lobby. Okay, let's look for another game.
Yeah, for Apex, they designed it more like a thriller sort of game. So you're encouraged heavily to fight. You will dive in, you will fight for sure. And the fights will generally take a fair bit longer as well to accommodate.
Yeah, a bit longer. That's true. Especially like with shield batteries, healing items, those
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff.
The time to kill in Apex is very high compared to a lot of shooters. Like PUBG, you get tapped by 2 bullets, you're out of the game, pretty much.
Yeah.
With Apex, you tank like several dozen bullets and you're still fine. Sometimes.
Yeah, especially if you know how to hide on boxes or anything, then it's gonna be way longer.
Like when you learn all the movement tech and all the extra stuff that you can pull off just within your neutral game, then yeah, it extends fights out by a shit ton, and it becomes very, very dynamic in that regard. It's just a case less important about your actual positioning, more important is your improvisation and on-the-spot thinking. Which is...
Yeah,
it works out in Apex's case.
I mean, there's gonna be like a lot of third party in Apex as well, that's why.
Yeah, because third partying in Apex, the thing is, it's not just one person who's the third party, it's a whole team of a third party, so it shakes up the dynamic a lot as well.
You're fighting, in a way, you can say that you're fighting the whole lobby.
Yeah, that's the idea. You should be trying to fight the whole lobby. The ideal for Apex is you go around and you pub stomp people. You go around, you kill this group, you loot them, you move on to the next group. Oh, they have good loot too? You kill them. And
but then it's gonna be like something, let's say, you just finish them and someone will be there and you're not ready. And you die. Go back to lobby.
There are a lot of little allowances which allow you to get back into the fight a lot quicker, like executions or picking up other people's shields and whatnot.
Yeah, the shield swaps, that's actually it's really useful and everything.
Yeah, the shield swap used to be huge to do, pretty much. Like, it'd win you fights more often than not. Nowadays, it's a case of your Evo shield is... You have to make up the choice whether you want to keep your Evo shield or take your opponent's Evo shield, and just weigh up the difference between those two. But yeah, overall, it's been streamlined a lot more.
It's more... I mean, from how I play, it's like I'll just skip the shield, especially if you're fighting with someone. Then after that fun, say you manage to thirst them, just take the shield. That's it. So you have a better chance of surviving. Because it takes a while for the shield battery or shield cell to...
Yeah. It takes a while to recharge it anyway.
So yeah, it's better to get a shield rather.
Anyhow, let's throw ourselves onto another question I've got written here. This one might be a bit more of a curveball, because I don't think I sent this one to you, actually. So, what exactly got you started with rigging Live 2D?
Oh, okay. I think I mentioned this one actually with like some of my streams. It's actually... I'm broke. That's pretty much it.
Wait. That was it?
It does. It is.
Huh?
Because is it... was it like... see, even the answer was a curveball.
Yeah. I didn't quite expect that, actually, because I know another friend which pretty much lives off of working on Live 2D commissions, essentially. Whether it just be rigging or art and rigging, because fella has his own circumstances. Anyhow, but really, so was this a case of you needed extra change, or was this a case of you needed something to work for?
It's actually both, since around that time, you can say, after I played with like a rig, let's say I borrowed like a friend's model and everything. After seeing the model move, I fell in love with doing rigging. And I was like, oh, okay. Like seeing something move because of how you do this and you do that. I don't know. It's way different, other than just, I guess, like, let's say commissioning someone. It's better to do it as well on your own as well.
Fair. Because it's
and
the
after
case
that,
of, yeah, it's still creative work in the end. So yeah.
Also, actually, like probably if ever, I'll still do rigging or probably like live 2D work, since mostly, like actually, like a lot of games started to implement live 2D as their like how to move and everything, especially like games like Azure Lane, Girls Frontline. They started implementing live 2D, so you can say it's also like a good way going to industry.
Yeah, a lot of gacha games have introduced live 2D as one of the selling points for a lot of their characters. For instance, as you mentioned, Azure Lane Live 2D had Live 2D in it for some of the skins. GFL, same business. I think,
Same business, yeah.
yeah, 416's skin in particular, that one sold like hotcakes mainly because of
It
the Live 2D.
So yeah, it's actually yeah. But yeah, me being broke started me rigging. Then after that, I fell in love with it. Then I keep doing it out now.
But yeah, like it's a very good technology to learn, I will say, simply because of its implementation becoming wider and wider, having wider and wider appeal or appreciation, essentially. Like you've got the VTubing crowd, you've got anyone which plays particular gacha games, you've got
Gacha game.
yeah, like
Oh,
even I think I remember one of the earliest implementations of Live 2D I was witness to was, let's see, it was Fire Emblem Fates, actually.
Fire Emblem Fates.
Yeah, that one had introduced Live 2D, but it was extremely controversial at the time, especially in the North American release.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, simply because there was a head padding mini game.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's where the Live 2D was used.
I mean,
And yeah, man.
some games actually focus live to the yeah, like especially like patting and everything. It's like it was weird at first, but then I guess with the VTubing as well as the game community starting to implement live 2D more, I
Yeah.
guess it's being normal now. It's like it's being normalized and everything.
It makes things. I don't know. At first, it landed in that uncanny valley of this shouldn't look as alive as it should. And now it's gotten to the point where it's sophisticated enough that, yeah, you can more or less do a proper full stream avatar and no one will bat an eye at how it looks, essentially.
I guess it's really. I guess it's a big things with Kizuna for those for that one. I guess especially like on the Western community now.
But Western community, yeah. It took a while, but it's gotten there now. It's definitely gotten there now.
Yep, it does.
Let's add on to the rigging question. Is there any particular method you take to your rigging? So how would you start out a rig and how would you progress through one?
Actually, I try to start it like cleaning up everything first. Let's say I sort it usually in like folders and everything. I like it clean when doing rigging.
Fair enough, because there's like hundreds of layers potentially, depending on the artist.
Yeah, so I tend to clean up everything first. Let's say sort the head, the body, mouth, eyes, and everything on their own mini folder. So it won't. So that's why it usually take me like an hour to clean everything.
It's not too
But
bad
yeah,
if it streamlines your
yeah.
workflow afterwards.
Then yeah, after that one, I tend to do the face first. Actually,
Oh, start with face. All right.
yeah, it's always it's probably because on the videos that I've watched, they always start at the face. I mean, it's one of the hardest one to do actually, like the face, since there's gonna be the mouth, there's gonna be the eye movements, especially right now that some riggers does add more physics with the eye, with let's especially like the moving highlights, those kind of stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, I tend to do the face first, and after that, pretty much the you can say the body as well after.
All right. Any particular quirks with the bodies, or?
It's actually, it's actually mostly with the hand gestures.
Hand gestures. Okay.
It's like especially like when the model turns right, there's gonna be like a small movement on the arms or hands, so it won't look rigid. Since think a lot of people want their models to look more uh human-like, especially like in terms of movement.
Ah, yes. Closer to human, more expressive, more animated, more or less.
Yeah. So I usually do the work with the body as well, especially the hands as well as if you're like if you're rigging like a female model, you have to work with the chest physics as well.
Yeah,
But
I,
yeah,
I heard that
I
physics
usually go.
was quite an ordeal as well to mess with.
Actually, it takes a while to do the physics. You have to make it look natural because I know some people doesn't like way too much physics, especially on the chest part for the model. And I try to not do that actually.
Do you ever find it awkward working on someone's chest or something?
I guess at first yeah, but then yeah, after like 1, 2, like I say like around if I recall it was like 3 models, I got used to it.
Okay, fair enough. Because yeah, it is a case of it becomes work.
Yeah. Also probably the funniest thing that I did was like trying to figure out how it would look natural and everything. So I was just so you can say I was laughing every time that I think it looks weird.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because you were playing but it's like then if you see it weird you would laugh.
Oh god. Okay. Have you ever
But
done
yeah.
Have you ever done that on stream then?
Actually no, I haven't.
Oh god, man.
Because usually the physics is the last thing that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I only do whenever I stream I only do like half of it.
Oh, okay.
Then the physics will be like on my own time.
Yeah, just so that you can just clean focus on it, do it right. I
Yes.
suppose. Yeah.
Since so no one will see me laughing with with all the wrong stuff that I'm doing, if ever.
I can imagine just Twitch terms of service being like, what are you doing
What is
there, buddy?
But yeah, that's how I do rigging. It's like it's going to head, body, then pretty much physics after.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, also with as well I guess with the idle stuff. Let's say it's like how you move your glass.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
actually like some idle movement or something, or sometimes it's a toggle. So
Oh, yeah.
I usually do it like glass as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fair enough. Let's see. When it comes to expressions, how do you handle those?
I actually tell let's say the artist if ever to separate everything on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Since some artists makes it a sticker,
Oh, okay.
and I just play with it. But then some people wants their expression moving. Let's say like when someone have angry expression, they want the angry mark to move. Then it's actually like a different work.
Oh, it's a different kind of work. Implementation,
Yeah,
I
it's
suppose. Yeah.
yeah, it's actually more an animation rather than the rigging part.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, it's pretty much different.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then. In that regard, let's see. What has been the most interesting rig you've worked on so far, then?
Oh, interesting rig.
Which one do you remember straight up off the top of your head?
It's actually a Matsuki Looney's rig because I think I guess it's fine to say it on stream. She have this toggle that makes her boobs bigger.
Oh, okay, nice.
So yeah, it's totally in my head whenever like someone asks me what's the best rig you did. So yeah, I'll keep saying it's Looney's model.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. She was pretty. I don't. She is a really weird person to talk with, but it's really fun with her. So Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be Looney's Booba toggle.
Oh man. that
I know,
is
I know, yeah.
buddy. Okay, in that case, what is the hardest rig you've worked on then? Or would it be the same?
Actually no, it's still different as well.
Okay.
Probably when I started doing Otoha Isa's model,
Oh, okay.
because some parts of her model doesn't move properly like what I wanted. So it's really frustrating.
Okay.
It's really frustrating.
Hmm.
It's gonna be like if you look at if the body moves left and right, there's gonna be like this one part that doesn't look good or it would look weird. So it's really like it's pretty much like nitpicking, but still it's something that it took me a while.
Just a while to get your head around, I suppose, or just come to
Yeah.
terms with. Oh,
Yeah.
alright, fair enough. Alright then, let's see.
Oh, it's actually there's another one as well. Actually,
Oh, go for it.
probably like a 12 hours. It's a rush commission, but I have to finish it for like 12 hours.
True. Wait, within 12 hours. Heck,
Yeah.
that is very rough for a rush commission, man.
Yeah, it was the time when Saki_exe
Oh,
was
okay.
supposed to debut, and I think it's a bit of this there's something happened with the rig that she used to have that she was supposed to have. It wasn't it wasn't delivered on time. That's the thing.
That kind of affair. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much I did like rush model commission. Yeah, pretty much rush for like I think it's not even like more. It's not even 12 hours. I think it's like 10 or something.
Ooh. 10 hours. You managed to pull it off?
Then I managed to pull it off, but it's not really like the best. But the basic stuff works properly.
Okay, so you got what you needed to get done, in which case.
Yeah.
That's fine then.
Yeah, I had like three, 4 coffees around the time.
Oh, God. 3 or 4 coffees. My God.
Yeah.
I don't know, the worst I've done in terms of caffeine and having to stay up was maybe 4 or 5 energy drinks, and that had me dead by the end of it. I was like, I've been up for 48 hours. I don't want to be up for another hour.
Oh, I can imagine that though. It's hell.
It was a case of I had an assessment due and I had practically not started on it, and I underestimated the scope of it really badly. Like, really, really badly. Like, far underestimated it. To the point of where, when I actually finished it and looked back, I was like, what madman managed to spawn 50,000 lines of code into existence?
Oh, okay. Damn.
It was at that point where I knew, yeah, I never want to touch HTML ever again.
It's HTML, I see.
Yeah, it's HTML, but it was the more complex side of HTML, actually having to program proper JavaScript and all that to actually make a game in HTML, which is terrible.
Yeah, like hearing the word like game HTML is like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it was a terrible course to do that one, and I was just like, man, I do not want to ever have to write that much lines of code ever again. I'm a writer and a musician, not a programmer. Save me.
But I mean, at least you still did it. That's the thing.
Yeah, I still managed to pull it off, and it actually scored decently, which was enough for me to pass the course. So I was like, hey, I get to graduate now.
Oh, that's actually really good then.
Yeah.
Worth the effort. But yeah, looking at back, it's what madman would do that.
Yes, what madman would do that? What madman would rig something in 10 hours?
I mean, I did it. That's the thing. So it's
yeah,
you
pulled it off. You pulled it off. That's all fine and dandy. All right, let's see then. So let's move on to this one. What are your thoughts in general on the indie VTuber scene? So you've worked with quite a few from what I gather at this point, considering you offer rigging services.
Oh, you can say it's still on its peak
Really?
at the moment.
Okay.
I know it might sound. I know it might be like from other people's seats oversaturated, especially like how many VTubers pops out left and right. But it's still actually on its peak. I cannot see the indie scene going down sooner or later.
Oh, okay. Because there is a lot of support being made now for VTubing content. For instance, the VTuber tag on Twitch being released very recently. Like 2 days ago now? 3 days? 3 days, I think.
I think it's like 3 days, yeah.
That has gotten a lot of traction. Like, you can scroll through it and get at least 100 or so individual VTubers streaming at any one time. And that is only the ones going to Twitch and actually having the tag. There are countless more without the tag, even.
Also, like, people also who streams and on YouTube, people are still there as well.
Yeah, I'm a bit out of touch with the more YouTube side of the community because I don't often go to people's YouTube.
Yeah, it's really hard to interact with people on YouTube, actually.
Yeah, because it's not a platform that's been specifically built for the streaming side of things. Like, they do now have a currently live kind of section, but at the same time, YouTube is so expansive that it's a bit on the difficult side to actually find anyone that you're particularly looking for as well.
I mean, some indie VTubers try to do is like build up their community first at Twitch. Then after building up the community that they have, they try to go to YouTube for better
range.
Better range. Since not everyone open Twitch, people watch YouTube and everything. That's true.
Yeah. Like,
I can see.
Like, do you ever see yourself doing YouTube?
Actually, no. Not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Fair. So you'd prefer to just stick exclusively to Twitch then?
I mean, yeah. Currently, I'll stick with. I guess I'll stick with Twitch for like a long time. Since YouTube is like way different on how Twitch works. No raids on everything. Also, but I think it's most like the functionality.
Yeah, the functionality is not catered toward interaction as much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally just you streaming on YouTube and people typing in chat. If you manage to interact with them, then I guess it's a good thing. Then yeah.
But most of the time, you won't have stuff like any kind of channel redeems or any kind of straight interaction with the streamer. And if it gets too hectic, YouTube actually starts what's it called, filtering its chat as well, which is like
with the unique chatter and everything. That's true.
Yeah, and that part can get a bit on the more controversial side because then you've got like top chat or all chat pretty much. And most of the time it'll default to just top chat. So you may not even see your messages go past at all, even. So, yeah. It's an odd case. Because YouTube does have some nice things about it, but at the same time, there are other elements of it which make you question what YouTube is actually trying to pull off. For instance, one of the latest policy changes they made was actually regarding advertisements.
Advertisements, yeah.
It was a case of if you didn't monetize your videos or anything, YouTube was very restricted in what they could put in terms of advertisements. It was a case of, oh, you didn't monetize? Okay, we won't do a front roll ad or we won't do like mid-roll ads, blah, blah, blah. Now it's a case of no matter what content you put up, they will put advertisements in it.
Yeah, it doesn't help people who does like start indie VTubing on YouTube.
Yeah. Like indie VTubing on YouTube is very depressing, is what I'll say.
It's in a way it's really hard as well. With they, you can say not everyone, but a lot of people they cannot get enough traction for if ever they're going to stream on YouTube. Especially like they got they're indie, so they don't have any company or any advertisement that's being PR towards them.
Yep. I will say, even with company backing, starting on YouTube is very rough. Like
it's really rough,
extremely rough. Like
especially if you, especially if you're like a small company, you cannot do anything about that.
Like even the talent my lot's producing or my group's producing, yeah, she's off on YouTube and not necessarily Twitch, but her viewership kind of fluctuates up and down, and whoever stays around for her streams is a bit people that have already visited the stream before rather than necessarily new viewers, so it's a bit difficult to get additional reach there. And it's also hard to get the extra support as well, simply because, how am I going to draw attraction from other people's streams without the raid function, for instance?
Yeah, the raid function, like, it's really helpful in everything. Especially like how, let's say sometimes, I mean, or some, you can say some situation like let's say like 200 viewer Twitch VTuber on Twitch rated you. It will help you. It would totally help your views as well as with your follows, and especially if they stayed for you. I mean, if they stayed and everything, and you will see them on the next, let's say on your next stream, that would totally help the indie VTuber on Twitch.
Yeah, definitely. Because one of the things that boosted me to affiliate was Akagihiro raiding me after the Yasen interview, actually.
At least then, Yasi.
Yeah, like after the Yasen interview, I had a D&D stream, and
D&D,
and Hiro actually just raided me during that, and it pushed me straight to affiliate, and I was like, oh god, what have you done? Because he just he stormed in with like 50 something or so, and I was like, what the heck, why?
Yeah, so that's really, from what Rita said, raids is really helpful in everything, especially like if you're exploring other people as well.
Yeah, like it shows off a lot more of this community, and some elements which are actually pretty nice about this community, in that, yeah, sure, you'll have people that'll raid other people and give them some support. Some other people see it though as, let's see, I'll give one of my interviewees or former interviewees takes on it, which was just that the guy really hated the raiding concept, essentially.
Oh,
yeah, he was the one guy so far that I know that absolutely despises raiding, and I was just like, okay, why? And he was like, yeah, it's an artificial bump, and a very small percentage of people from a raid actually stay and become returning viewers. Therefore, sometimes raids just conflate your follower count without actually giving you more natural viewers in the end.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good reasoning as well, because yeah, raids and everything bumps off your viewer counts as well as your follows, but the people who stay, let's say, is quite low. Especially, let's say, the night you manage to reach like 500 views, let's say, that time, then the next day you will only have like 10, let's say 10. which is your normal viewer count.
It's normal to have in like low 2 digits, or like, yeah, even the larger scale people, if they hit 3 digits, they're happy, pretty much.
yeah, that's the thing. Actually, me hitting like 10 to 20 is actually really, I'm really happy with it already. Because yeah, it's still, I really want to mold my community better first.
For me, there's only like 2 instances usually in a week where I reach those kinds of numbers, and that's if I'm doing an interview or if I'm running D&D. Those 2 streams usually gather a lot more people for whatever reason.
I mean, D&Ds are fun. It's usually fun.
D&D in this case is complete lawful evil, so people have twisted taste, is what I will say.
That's really understandable.
Mhm.
Well, I guess for interviews, like meeting new people and everything.
I suppose, yeah. Part of it is gathering the audience that people have, I suppose. So
Yeah,
what
that
I
one
noticed
as
with quite
well.
a few interviewees is they end up bringing a chunk of their dedicated audience along, essentially. Like
Yeah, that's true.
there are people which will come through regardless if they've heard that, oh, you're going to be on someone else's content. Yeah, I'll show up. Like for instance, let's see, Yasen had a bunch of the fellows from around Alt F4, I believe, show up.
We were
Yeah.
there.
Then Hiro had quite a bit of his community. Rira had one of her dedicated followers, which even ended up hearing what her regular voice was.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah. Then let's see. Who else? Who else? Right. Komatsu Sasha, she actually had a lot of her following show up because
that's good.
she was on hiatus for quite a while, and the interview was one of the streams which broke her hiatus for a bit. And yeah, that one actually ended up being one of my larger interviews, funnily enough, because yeah, a lot of people from her lot showed up. 'Cause yeah, it's interesting to see what kind of people do show up in regards to fan bases, or in terms of people who are more dedicated or friends of people.
Oh, there's actually more of my watchers is actually around EU time for some reason.
I mean, you stream in those kinds of hours, from what I gather, at least, because whenever I see you streaming, it's closer to either the morning or mid-afternoon for me, roughly. So yeah, that should be about
Yeah,
EU times.
that's why I'm trying to actually change it a bit since I kind of want to cater with with NA and EU people.
Mhm.
Because from what I see on my streams, yeah, it's like a lot of EU people and NA people and NA people usually.
Yeah, like when I check through my Twitch analytics, I'm just like, wait, why are there so many people from NA and Canada? I stream in Aussie hours. Hold up.
That's understand. Yeah, I guess it's because the people you interview are usually always on NA.
Hmm.
That might be one of the factors. That's why.
Yeah, yeah. A good chunk of them have been NA interviews. The ones which aren't usually end up being in Aussie time zones, actually, instead.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah, when it comes to Aussie hours, if I'm specifically interviewing an Aussie, I will ask, oh, do you want to just do this on, like, a Friday night instead of just whatever other time? So, for instance, let's say Nana Asteria, Yuko Haku, Miyukiko, and Rory. Those four specifically were Aussie, and I did all of them on a Friday night instead, because that just worked
Oh.
out a lot cleaner.
While for NA people, it's always around Saturday.
Yeah, it's usually NA Saturday, or in my case, like Sunday afternoon, pretty much. Because it works out fine. I'm pretty much just at home chilling on a Sunday usually, so it's a case of, yeah, I'll boot up stream and interview someone. Why not?
Oh yeah, it's really good. That's a good time. A good time to interview. Just chilling and everything.
Yeah, the next interview I've got planned, that one's at a slightly wilder time from what I normally do, so I'm just like,
Oh, it's a breath of fresh air. I see.
yeah, it'll be an Australian Monday, which is just like, oh boy. An Aussie Monday earlier than I normally wake up is the thing.
Oh, okay, I see.
Because, yeah, that one requested an interview on Sunday their time, so I was like, yeah, alright, why not?
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's gonna be way different from what you used to do.
Because also on Mondays I normally have a second stream at the night time, if it comes to that kind of stuff.
So it's gonna be like a double stream. I see.
Yeah, it'll be a double
If
stream
ever.
day, yeah. like the most I've had to do in one shot has been 3 streams in a day. That was a fun time. I think it was like a podcast. Let's see, a podcast, a collab, and then a interview by the end. I think it was. No, it was a podcast, a interview, then D&D by the end. That's what it was for 3 in 1. That one was a fun time.
Since we're kind of talking about schedule, there's actually one time that I managed to be on like 3 collabs in just one day.
Oi. How'd you manage to pull that one off?
It was one of them is like morning, one of them is afternoon, one of them is like around late night. So it's like it's also the stream also lasts for like 4 hours, 5 hours. So it's like oh no. So yeah, after that day, I guess I was like pretty dead.
Good job pulling through it. Good job pulling through it, man. Because yeah, there are times where some of my stuff is planned at like the last minute. I'm just like, okay, how do I accommodate for this?
Oh yeah, that's like it's pretty much if last minute collabs and everything, so it will usually fuck up your schedule.
Because yeah, one of the interviews I did was actually only confirmed 3 hours before it actually went live.
Oh, okay, that's actually.
Yeah, that one was like giddy, very, very, very last minute. Just like, oh, are you up for this? Are you up for this? Please tell me you're up for this. Because throughout the week he was like, yeah, I'll let you know. Then on the day of, he was like, I'm not too sure. I'm like, buddy, please.
Well, at least they said. Good thing they said yes, right? Did they say yes?
Yeah, they said yes by the end, and we went through with the interview, and it was one of my more fun interviews. It was the guy which was very much against raiding.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that guy was a very honest fella, is how I'll put it. Like, he didn't hold back on anything at all.
So yeah, I mean, there's gonna be like people like that.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Because it ends up being... I find it more interesting when people don't necessarily hold back on their opinions when being interviewed, because that way, you can dive into the why and how, rather. It just comes off as a lot more genuine, I suppose, but to each their own. Because some people I've had come on and they... Some people I've had come on and they act their character, some people I've had come on and they just act themselves, essentially. As far as I can tell for yourself, you don't have too much of a character to be playing on right now. Redacted barista, man.
Yeah, I don't have actually. Yeah, it's pretty much like me after. In a way, you can say that this one is like more of the after hours Xeno.
After hours Xeno, eh? Do you find yourself putting on much of a character when you're streaming anything, or do you just go with the flow for the most part?
I mean, sometimes like it's actually like 50-50 sometimes.
Oh, okay.
But most of the time I just go with the flow, especially like when sometimes chats act up and everything. I usually like be on character when something like that happen. Also, probably I'm more into character when I'm trying to talk with other people as well on chat.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I'm more me when I'm doing like live 2D rigging.
Fair enough. I mean, it's down to work, essentially.
Yeah, it's pretty much just like work time and everything. So yeah, I can safely say it's like 50-50.
Alright, let's see. I've got this next question written down. I believe I sent it to you. I think I did at least. Anyway. So, how does being part of a group change things? At least in terms of like the VTuber scene. Did you find that joining Alt F4 had done anything for you, or do elaborate on that?
Okay. Actually, you can say there's more traction for you now. That's the thing as well. Like being in a group was especially when I guess Alt F4 joined the battle tournament.
Oh yeah, that one I was pretty surprised at, actually. When I saw that announcement, I was like, oh heck, okay.
Yeah, it's like being recognized as a group and let's say people knowing you. It's it's really different from how, let's say if you have like alone in terms of like without you being without you having a VTuber group,
Mhm.
since in a way people would recognize you like, oh, it's Xeno from Alta 4. They always have they always have that branding. Though
Hey,
even
hey.
like
Yep.
our, you can say our group is pretty much like a friend group and everything.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's just, yeah, we're just vibing. We're just vibing and everything. So you can say that doesn't uh it doesn't change like a lot, but it's still 50-50
Hmm.
on how you guys would like show the group is as well.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, since especially let's say that you have a group, then you don't do that much. Of course, nothing would help it.
Mhm.
While let's yeah, I can really just say that the Valo tournament as well, like us streaming together really help as a group,
Ah.
because you would streaming to like collabs and everything would like help and everything. So yeah, I guess like you can say life's better.
Okay.
And you can like you vibe with more people and everything.
Mhm. Fair enough, fair enough. Because I remember like one of the few times that I tuned in on someone's voice chat was I hopped into Alt F4 once and it was like chaotic as all hell.
I can imagine. Yeah,
Yeah, and then let's see, I think it was later on Yasin showed up and it got even more chaotic. I was like, oh god, what's going on here?
yeah. That's one of the things like with being group. It's like, let's say you're in a collab and it's like like the voice call is like free to join in.
Hmm.
And yeah, and when you guys are complete, it will become super chaotic and everything.
Man.
Yeah, I guess that's what makes group fun as well. You're just enjoying with more people. That's the thing.
Mhm. Yeah, people appreciate the chaos, I suppose.
I mean, people like a lot of chaos and everything.
Yeah. I mean, you either get, let's see, vibing or you get absolute chaos, I suppose.
Oh, it's actually both. Actually, people
Oh,
like vibing if people like vibing even if it's chaos and everything.
not vibing
They
in
would
chaos.
they would even join on chaos actually. So that's what makes it fun for like in terms of like being in a group, because people would join on what you guys are doing.
Hmm.
If you're vibing, then yeah, you're just vibing. If you're on chaos, everyone will join the chaos.
Yeah, thus far, my experience of being in a group of my own, these guys are probably the most chaotic lot possible to the point where any call I do with them ends in, oh my god, all
Yeah.
kinds of, yeah, bye, essentially. Because too many members of it are just a case of, publicly unsay so. Definitely publicly
Yeah,
unsay so.
it is. There's gonna be just like this weird jokes and everything, especially like with sushi, like
Oh
his Disney
dear.
jokes. He's always like doing that one.
Oh Christ. Let's see, Sushi is actually the one member of Alt F4 that I have barely had any interaction with at all, pretty much. Like, yeah, Yasen is always on and off interaction. Seo was the interview and all the preamble for that. In your case, yeah, contacting you for the interview and figuring things out. Sushi, he
Sushi is doing his idol stuff.
yeah, Sushi, the fella followed me on Twitter. I was like, huh? Eh? Wait, huh? And I was like, why not? I'll follow back, see where this guy goes.
And yeah, from you can totally see his interaction with on Twitter. He's either chill and everything, or he's gonna be chaotic. So you can totally see that he vibes with everyone with Alt F4.
Most of the posts I see from the fellow have all been like, singing or some kind of vocal stuff for the most part.
I Because I mean he's still an idol. He's still an Opanda idol from his says.
Let's see, I'll throw a curveball here. So I did ask about the indie scene earlier, but let's see. How do you feel about the kind of ideal kind of notion of what a VTuber should be? The kind of idol, chaotic idol kind of outlook, essentially. So think HoloLive, where they've got all of these amazing talents, but all of them have the ability to sing, all of them have the ability to do this and that in terms of like performance and whatnot. Do you feel that's necessary in the indie scene or something to be expected? Because it comes to being more of a trend these days that, oh, you're a VTuber, can you sing, can you write, can you do art, can you do this or that? Do you think any of that is particularly necessary, or do you have a different view on what's required of an indie VTuber for streaming?
It's actually not really a it's not you cannot say it's not a requirement. It's an additional if ever. If you can sing, then it's really good. It's like an addition. It's like an adds-on stuff if you're going to stream. It's not something required. I don't know. It's really just weird if you're going to for a if you're trying to stereotype VTuber as like as an idol and everything that they can sing. I think it's a bad way on how looking other VTubers as well. In terms of like, yeah, you're a VTuber, can you sing? Can you do this one? Can you do that? Can you do that? It's really it's really bad.
Like there are very high expectations at times when you see people's debuts. It does tend to come down to that at times.
I mean, I guess if you sing, then good for you. if you can do art, then it's really you're cracked and everything. But it's something that I don't really like. Somehow like being a VTuber, you should sing, you should how to do art. But some people have like this their own charm and everything in terms of VTubing.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess it's better to use that rather than like singing and everything. I mean, of course, it's gonna be if you want to learn singing, then why not? It's gonna be like one of the things that it's gonna be on your arsenal in terms of like streaming. You can do more karaoke streams. You can do like this one, and you can do art stream if ever you want to. Yeah, it pretty much just give you a variety of what you will do. So it's like it's not really a requirement.
Yeah, like it's definitely something that makes people stand out. But in the case of, let's see, do you think that people need that one element to stand out? So something about them which lets them stand out compared to the rest of the pack, for instance.
I guess it's gonna be 50-50. Because then if you have that, if you have that one factor that will make you stand out, then why not? Yeah, why not use it?
Because the main thing is like there's a million people which could go out there and be just a game streamer essentially, and they'd just play a game on stream and that's it. But then
I guess
then
if you're gonna be better
then
if you're gonna be better, I mean, if you're streaming games, I guess it's also like additional if you're like you're better or you're good on that game.
Yeah.
But not everyone like you cannot also make content if you're always like so good in everything. Like even I guess like failures or let's say like funny moments would make also you shine as a VTuber.
Embrace failure, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the moments that actually makes what a VTuber is. Since let's say you can say I know it's like a weird example, but how Suisei does her, I think she buffed off like with her Project Winter.
Oh, that was an exceptional case, I'll say.
See, it's one of the things that would make someone pop out. Like, do you have this alternate personality that if you play this game you're like different and everything that. So it's about like the personalities behind. Well, I cannot really say Suicide because like she's talented in swinging and everything. So
let's see. At the same time, let's see. I'll probably continue this brutal streak of questioning just a bit longer because it is on the brutal side. But What about once you are known for that one thing? What happens when you are pigeonholed into that one thing?
Oh, that's actually it's really hard to break free if ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're known for something and you want to do different things, a lot of people will try to question you. It's like, why would you try to break out on something that you're already known for something different?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's gonna be hard, especially like for a VTuber that, let's say, they've got known into something. Let's say, this person's like so good on FPS and everything. Then after that, they try to play in a different game,
Yep.
and people will be like, "Why would you try and play different games? Just play FPS." That's what they would say. It's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be really hard for the stream, for I guess for the VTuber to
Yeah.
try to break free of the shell,
Mm-hmm.
especially like how they're always gonna be associated with FPS. I mean, from the one my example.
Yeah. Like, one of the sheer examples I have or sharper examples I have for that kind of matter is, let's see, one of the larger Twitch streamers out there, a fellow named Lobos, I think, or Lobos Jr. The guy was known for Dark Souls challenge runs, essentially, or just Dark Souls content in general.
Speedruns and everything.
Yeah, speed runs, challenge runs, stuff with a lot of restrictions, all that kind of stuff. And whenever he does any kind of other game, his viewership drops very sharply. And a lot of people tend to question the way he goes about playing some of the games. Because, for instance, when he went ahead and played Devil May Cry, he played it in almost the wrongest way possible to the original design. Pretty much not focusing on any combos and just doing whatever he felt like.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, and a lot of people got very mad about that. I was just like, bruh.
Yeah, it's like also this one FPS streamer, Asu.
Oh, okay.
When he streamed me mostly like Apex, Valorant, but then if you play like a different game, sometimes his viewership drops down. Like, especially I mean, it's still on relatively high, but you can see the drop.
Mm-hmm.
It just really feels weird that people try to constrict you from what you do.
Yeah.
Or what you love.
It comes to audience expectations at that point. More a case of, oh, you've built this kind of brand for yourself. Why are you divulging from that or diverging from that brand instead?
Yeah, so like, it's just really bullshit. I'll say it. It's really bullshit.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to restrict someone to just enjoy streaming and everything.
Anyhow, apologies for the darker line of questioning. Let's get back to something a little brighter then. Alright, so let's see. So when it comes to VTubing, a lot of people tend to brand themselves as a variety streamer, as I mentioned earlier. And do you find yourself doing more so rigging games, etc.? Are there any kinds of particular games that you find yourself gravitating towards?
Actually, I really like playing Monster Hunter kind of games. Like you can say like combos, games with combos and everything.
Hunting style then, or hunting style or character action.
Character action actually. But right now, I'm currently focusing different kind of games actually. JRPGs, platformers.
Yeah, one of the ones I noticed you playing was Hollow Knight. I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah, and I'm actually like, for the past few days, I've been grinding for like coins for Hollow Knight. So
yeah, Hollow Knight is one of those games which has given me hell for a really long time.
And
to get to the true ending of Hollow Knight, there is an extremely brutal section where the game turns from a Metroidvania game into playing Super Meat Boy instead.
So, okay. Understandable.
So it is very brutal, and it is all platforming.
But yeah, from what I said, it's gonna be like, I don't like playing different kind of games. Even if some games I'm so bad at it, but I think I really enjoy more of RPG kind of games. Since I have like this background playing World of Warcraft.
Oh, Okay.
World of Warcraft, and so yeah,
Which
Dragon Nest
expansion
and
did you play up
everything.
to?
I actually, it's been so long that I forgot actually already.
Fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
don't really, but yeah, I used to play Dragon Nest. I
Oh,
kind of
Dragon Nest is one I haven't heard in a long while. Heck.
yeah. So I used to kind of play those kind of games.
Hmm.
I like raiding in terms of like those kind of games.
Yeah.
Because I feel strong.
Man,
But
Dragon
yeah,
Nest is just even the chat's like Dragon Nest.
yeah. Because yeah, in a way, I'm one of on my location. I'm in one of the strongest guilds and everything.
Oh heck.
So yeah. So probably I'll try to dip into Final Fantasy 14 if ever.
FF14, yeah, that one plays more like a
Since,
traditional MMO, I'll say.
yes, yeah, MMORPGs. So yeah, I might if I'm going to try to deep on that game and yeah, I see even a lot. Yeah, Rera, they're playing like FF14.
Yeah, Rita and you definitely play for FF14. God.
But yeah, it's actually one of the games that I really. It's one of the games that I'm really good with, but I haven't really touched it for a while. So I'm not so sure if I'm still good at it.
I don't know. For FF14, I abandoned it after a while. Like, I'd played it for a couple of years and then was just like, nah, I've had my fill. I'm doing roughly the same things every single time, and I started caring less and less about the story and the direction it was taking. So I was like, oh well.
In a way, it's really. You can say those kind of games are really repetitive. You'll grind here, grind there. So yeah, it's like trying to play that game will be like, it's like especially like if you're not used to playing repetitive games, then yeah, you'll be like, I'm done after like say a month or something.
Yeah. Myself, I'm very used to playing repetitive games. The series that I have the most hours in by far is Monhun, and that's in the upwards of, I don't know, closer to 5,000, 6,000 hours at this point in just over the entire series. So I'm just like, man, I've spent too much time playing Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah, I actually play as well. Yeah, Monster Hunter. Though on World, I played like 1,000 hour only.
Oh heck. Let's see.
But yeah, it's like cool.
Yeah, for Monhun, the one that I spent the most time on was actually Portable Third instead of World.
Oh, the Portable Third. I see.
Portable Third's always a nice one.
Like actually, I've played Monster Hunter with a PSP and everything.
Yeah. Oh, so
then
that would have been like Freedom Unite probably.
Yeah. Then after that, I couldn't play because it's more like with like club stuff.
Ah, fair.
So yeah, so I couldn't play like the ones on the DS. The only time that I come back from Monster Hunter World is the pretty much World. So it's like it's been long.
Oh, in that case, that would have been your first experience with a whole bunch of new weapons then.
Yeah, it's just like a new bunch of weapons and everything. So I was like, I was overwhelmed when I was like playing at first. It's like, oh, it's this new weapon, this new stuff and everything.
For World, it had gotten to the point where I'd played so much Monster Hunter that I was like, I could pick up any weapon and do fine with it, pretty much. So I was like, yeah, I'll start World with like a charge blade, then by the end of it I was using like bow or longsword or whatever the hell I was feeling like.
Actually, in terms of like end game bosses, I don't like playing light bowgun.
Now, bowgun is always much stronger than any of the blade master classes later on. Like gunner classes always become a lot stronger by end game.
It does, especially with like the ammos and everything. Yeah.
The main thing is early game, it's just expensive to upkeep it.
So yeah, if you're like around end game, you can totally spend everything on light bowgun and you won't like give a fuck about it because you have already a lot of equipment and items for it.
You know, like having sticky rounds or sticky shots.
Sticker. Yeah, I really love using sticker shots for light bowgun.
Yes,
it's really strong.
It's really strong. It's way too strong, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
But then
compared
if I recall
to,
on
yeah.
Rise, it's actually piercing rounds.
Oh, they moved back to piercing. Okay, because piercing used to
Piercing,
be, yeah.
yeah, the strongest.
Piercing in all the other games used to be among the strongest, simply because, yeah, most of the
But the thing
monsters
with
were long enough to accommodate it.
Rise, I think I don't know, they sooner or later probably Sticky will be the king again. That's how I
Yeah,
feel.
when it becomes that damage is no longer, when you can no longer push damage that hard, it'll become how much status can you push instead.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Sticky will start going back up as well.
I can imagine myself using Sticky again, not gonna lie. But yeah, currently I've been playing more of like Switch X. Switch
Oh
X,
boy.
then if I want a super fast a fast run, I play Longsword since comfort. It's the comfort weapon
Yeah,
for everyone
it
pretty
very
much.
much is the comfort weapon. It's really easy to use when you get used to it.
Plus, it's stupidly strong.
Like my personal comfort weapon is a very unexpected one for a lot of people. It's Sword and Shield, actually.
No, actually, it's actually good.
Yeah, Sword and Shield actually play very aggressively is the thing.
It's either you can play support or DPS. That's the thing. You can switch out for pretty much both of them.
Like the main thing with Sword and Shield is it has the stickiness of a lance user, pretty much. So you're always on the monster doing damage.
Constant, yeah, on the
Yeah.
monster.
So you pretty much right up in the face. In my case, I usually go for the KO combo because it's actually really nice nowadays.
Oh yeah, the knock one, yeah.
Yeah, because it's unexpectedly dynamic Sword and Shield. Most people throw it off as like, oh yeah, this is like the newbie weapon or whatever. Me, no, this is my favorite weapon at times.
I cannot really say it's a newbie weapon. It's really hard to use somehow, especially if you're not used to KOing monsters.
Like they start you out with Sword and Shield in most of the games, pretty much.
Yeah, that's why they call it basic. That's why.
Yeah. Man, like, nah. You don't understand how useful the Sword and Shield is.
The basic. I hate saying it, but yeah, the basic was actually longsword.
Longsword's
It's the
very
base.
simple, yeah. Like, there are some aspects of it where, after a while, yeah, it can get a bit more on the complex side, because it has meters, it has counters, it has this and that.
The meter counters, also like as well as like doing this chain combos and everything.
Oh, yeah. But then, apart from that, Longsword is pretty straightforward when you got used to it. Now the funny thing is, I actually say the same thing about Charge Blade, and no one believes me.
Charge Blade is actually really fun to play.
Charge Blade is really simple as well. It's the thing.
Oh yeah, I can see now. People will say no.
I push 3 buttons usually, and that's all you need for Charge Blade. Charge Blade is fine. It's like stock files, charge shield, charge sword,
charge sword, then attack, pretty much.
Attack, savage axe, blah blah blah, discharge, problem solved. It's not that complicated.
It's more for, I guess, for newer players. It's more of the transition on how to do it.
And I think it's more people look at the fact that you can guard point.
Yeah, that's a guard point.
Yeah, guard points is normally what scares people away, but I'm like, no, guard points is what makes this weapon absolutely amazing.
Yeah, some of my friends actually say that as well. Like, don't get intimidated with the charge blade, saying it's one of the strongest weapon, but it's also easy to learn. It's really easy to learn.
Because the thing is, once you get used to guard pointing, it's literally a case of, oh, attack is coming, I hit these 2 buttons, problem solved. Because you can transition out of almost every attack into a guard point. It's like, oh god. That is,
yeah, it's like guard point, then savage axe. That's it. You're done.
Yeah. Like, I saw what it was like in Rise, and I was like, man, that is absolutely disgusting that you can just transition straight into savage axe now. It's like, oh.
Also, I guess with the addition with the bag wire, it's easy. It's one of the, if I recall, it's like one move that you pretty much just shield up yourself.
Oh yeah, that actually counts as a guard point as well when you do it.
Yeah, it's counted as a guard point, so pretty much additional.
Yeah, you can combo straight into it or combo straight from it. So the moment you get hit, you can then just go straight Savage Axe or straight Discharge, whatever. It's like pretty disgusting in that regard.
Yeah, that's why it's one of the counter that's the strongest weapons, and it's really useful and everything.
Because I mainly remember base game Monster Hunter World. That thing was absolutely disgusting to the point where the moment I got to Azure Raphalos the first time, I was like, I can probably dab on this thing. 2 minutes later, it's dead. I'm like, is Azure Raphalos meant to be that easy? I was like, wait. Like I'm like severely undergeared. I'm wearing low rank bone armor. What?
It just shows how strong Charge Blade is.
Yeah. Because I just flashbanged and did a whole bunch of discharge combos and then it just died and I was like, that's not right. That is not right. This is a Jagras charge blade. That's not right.
Also, yeah, like the file system is like it boosts up your damage and everything, so it's really fun to use.
Yeah. I don't know, the main thing I found with World was the difficulty curve was very, very weird. Like, extremely weird compared to the other Monhun games.
Especially when you manage to get into master rank, it's so weird.
Master rank is a bit easier than what G rank used to be, but at the same time, how fast they plunge you into it is very weird. Because normally they're meant to ease you into G rank or Master rank, like just very slowly. Like, oh, yeah, here's the same monsters again from high rank, but now stronger. Instead, one of the first things they throw at you is a subspecies.
Subspecies, yeah.
Of which absolutely wipes the floor with your ass. Because you don't expect Master rank level poison at first, and then when you get it, it's like, oh, this is murderous.
Oh yeah, like the poison on the third, who was it again?
Yeah, Viper Toby, yeah.
Yeah, the Toby Kadachi was like, Viper Toby was like so brutal for like a newbie or someone who's starting World. It's like an upgraded poison of Rathalos. I mean, yeah, Rathalos.
Yeah, it's like, at that point, it's more like toxin rather than poison. It's just like that strong, man. Like, when I first ran into it, I wasn't expecting that much damage, because, like, the first two monsters in the area weren't too bad, but yeah. Like, Banboro and the other one, Beatodus, they weren't actually too bad. I was like, oh, yeah, this is...
Yeah, they're easy to hunt and everything.
I was like, yeah, this is like high rank level. Then the Viper Toby was like, okay, we're in master rank now. Okay, I see how it is.
And I think after that, what was it again? I forgot his name.
Would have been Barrioff, I think.
Yeah, Barrioff was like so annoying with like all the eyes and everything. It's counted as like it's counted as Fang Wyvern, but it acts like Brute Wyvern.
Yeah. Like, Barrioff was one of my favorite monsters because it came out in, like, 3rd generation Monhun, and I was like, god damn, this thing's really cool. But in World, it was like, this thing is needlessly brutal.
It is.
Like, in the previous games, you could bully it if you broke off its spikes and a couple of other elements. But in World, it was a case of, no, this thing's here to bully you and wipe the floor with you instead.
It's really weird that from what I said earlier, it's a Fang Wyvern button. It attacks like, or it moves like a Brute Wyvern.
Yep. It was just like, oh god, Christ, why is it like this?
So that's why I was like, oh, it's time to switch for light bowgun. I won't try to fight it with like longsword or something.
Oh, I switched from using a charge blade to using a longsword at that moment.
Around the time I was like playing more on longsword because I was like, I want to speed and everything first. But then it's like seeing battles like being under level, so I was like, oh shit, okay, I can't do it. I'm like, I did it, but like there's too many feints. That's the thing.
Yeah. I don't know, the main thing was, for me, there's like a hierarchy of weapons that I'm bothered to use if it comes to playing the game. It's like, oh, Charge Blade is like... Charge Blade's easily at the top because it's just ease of use and pretty defensive. Then it goes down to like, oh, I'll use a longsword. Then it goes down to, oh, I'll use the sword and shield. I'll use... after sword and shield, it's like, you know what? I'll use a lance.
Yes, the lance.
Actually,
No, I think it's
yeah.
was it Gunland? Oh, Gunland was like so good as well in World and Rise.
Gun Lance is broken as hell in World, but I didn't actually know how broken it was until Endgame.
Yeah, especially like I remember like trying. I pretty much like almost solos Sappy Jiva
Oh,
because of lads like I was like okay this weapon's actually really open and everything.
yeah, Lance is just one of those weapons that you don't expect to be really strong, but then you realize it's a weapon that is not pure defense, but pure DPS instead.
Pure DPS, yeah.
Yeah, because Lance, you have the massive shield, so you're just in the face of the monster 90% of the time.
But the thing with Gunland, it might look like defensive weapon, but then yeah, you deal all this damage and you have like a safe. You can click a button and you're like saving everything because you can block every attack.
Gun Lance is a case of you have a very fast burst window, actually. Like, you can actually output a shit ton of damage really quickly.
Oh yeah, especially with the
Yeah.
with the what was it again? The
Yeah,
Dragon Burst.
yeah, you have the Wyvern Fire Burst, yeah.
I mean, yeah, the Wyvern Burst.
That thing hits really hard. It's like stronger than Wyvern Ammo usually. But at
It
the same
is
time, yeah.
stronger.
At the same time, if you also have the stake shoved into the monster and hit the stake, it also
It's just like,
explodes. Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, this stuff is... Gun Lance was rather insane, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't actually play that much of it when I was playing World.
because
it
actually
is,
like
yeah.
Gunlands, it helped a lot in like high rank. I mean, on like end game
Yeah.
hunts, especially you're fighting Alatrion, you're fighting Fatalis. Like, nope.
Alatrion is still a case of, oh god. You introduced MMO mechanics into Monster Hunter. You made half the player base mad, except for the part of the player base that actually knows how to play the game.
Yeah, because a lot of players who play, let's say, the meta sets, so it's pretty much like blast weapons. I was like,
Yeah.
and when they introduce Alatrion, I was like, people were like, oh no,
We need elemental weapons.
we need elemental weapon. It's like, and for me, I always have like blast as well as elemental, so I'm like, oh okay, I'm ready. I'm pretty much ready on fighting Alatrion.
Because yeah, the thing is, for myself, I'm usually a bow player for Iceborne, so it's a case of, oh, yeah, I have an elemental bow for most elements. So it's like, oh, yeah, this is no problem.
But then, yeah, the people that you play with, they usually don't have, so
Yeah, it's
really...
a lot of people will go for blast or poison, so it's like, yeah. Because poison master rank hits very hard, or surprisingly hard, yeah.
That's also the thing with... I remember Golden and Silver Ratian and Ratian and Ratlos. The fight with the two was like so bad because the toxin was like too much.
Yeah, those two are always nasty in whatever game they pop up in. It's just their armor is usually really good though.
Especially Silver.
Yeah,
so it's really good.
Silver was very strong. That was like even in even in endgame you can use parts of it and still work.
Silver was elemental, and a lot of monster on like the endgames are elemental based as well.
Yeah,
their weakness, so it's like it's really useful and everything.
Because yeah, Silver you had enhanced critical element, not just critical element. So it's just like, damn, all right, that's ridiculously strong. And then for gold you had divine blessing, which you could take up to level 5. So you just didn't die most of the time.
Yeah, less damage and everything. It's like, I don't know, like the addition of like the other monster for world makes your set and weapons so broken that you pretty much breeze through even until Alatrion. But then Fatalis comes, so
Fatalis is always a rough fight, regardless of the game. Then there's White Fatalis, which is just like, oh.
Also, if I recall, they added Volstrak on Rise.
Volstrak? Oh, yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that thing. Yes, I haven't tried it because I haven't really played like Rise for a while. So I'm like, I'm not so. I'm not so sure if I will touch it first.
But my memories of Valstrax drive by, Sioom, bam.
Yeah,
Oh.
you can say I don't perceive if ever he's there. I was like, nope, I can't. I don't wanna play with him.
And because yeah, Rise just brings back a lot of stuff from third generation, so I'm very happy about that.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. They're adding. I think they're planning to add mostly of the monster from the older gens as well. So
Yeah,
you would see everyone. That's what I feel. There's a big chance that
because
you might see everyone.
yeah, third generation stuff's like Xenogre, Royal Ludroth. What else was there?
I
Let's
kind of want to
see.
see you. I never played the game like the one for DS, but if I recall, it's like there's a monster that lives under the sea, and you have to.
Oh yeah, those ones were also for the Wii version as well. Some of the
Yeah,
underwater monsters.
so not gonna like.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see it on Rise of Ever.
Underwater combat is never coming back as far as I'm concerned.
Oh man, okay. I guess like it's something that I
'Cause,
cannot
yeah,
really expect now
it was one of the more controversial elements of Monster Hunter games. Some people
because yeah,
really hated the underwater combat.
yeah. Because I've watched like a lot of speedruns and everything. It's like it looks really hard because like how the system would work.
Mhm. To be fair,
And then
the underwater combat actually controls the best out of any game that I've played when it comes to underwater combat.
oh
I think there's only one game which does underwater combat better, but that was Guild Wars 2, and that's just tab targeting. In terms of pure character action and whatnot, definitely Monhun did underwater combat
one
really
not.
well.
I mean, if ever they're going to add it, I wish they have fix a lot of stuff and in terms of like underwater
Yeah,
battles.
because the main thing with underwater was it was just a bit difficult to aim stuff, was the thing.
Yeah, from what I see, a lot of people are using light bowgun, heavy bowgun on underwater battle.
Oh, the main reason for that was you had a special ammunition called sub ammunition.
Oh, no
This
wonder.
was the equivalent of shooting torpedoes.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no wonder then. I see.
Yeah. If not, if you were a solo player, you actually took like scatter shot or pellet shot, pretty much. Because then it became a case of, yeah, you just aim in its general direction and fire.
Then it just didn't hit hit it. I see.
Yeah. Because pellet shot back in the old games was just very long range, actually. Like in
Actually, yeah,
World Scatter Shot is like really short range. Like you shoot it, it
yeah. Scout the
barely goes
shot
like
was like so bad.
it barely goes a meter in front of you, then stops.
That's why
In
if
the
ever
old
going to
games,
use it,
yeah.
yeah.
In the old games, it just filled like a 5 meter area, just completely full of pellets.
No one. Yeah, I guess the one that's like strong on the older games. I see.
Yeah, because it pissed off a lot of players back then. Because if you played multiplayer with that, you hit
Oh,
the
you'll get flinched.
yeah, you get flinched. You actually shoot it in the general direction and watch as everyone on your team gets flinched. And it's like, oh my god.
Understandable. I'll probably do that as well. Actually, you'll flinch everyone.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was fun doing that. Just from a case of, yeah, you can have a lot of you deal a lot of damage, and you deal a lot of damage to different areas because of your coverage. And then it becomes a case of, yeah, you take that into multiplayer, half the lobby's going to hate you.
I can imagine. I can. It's pretty much like with dual blade player flinching everyone when attacking a monster went down.
Oh, let's see. Now, the worst case used to be longsword players.
Yeah, it used to be longsword, so
Yeah, I think they reduced the flinch a bit on the longsword, but then the next culprit was actually insect glaive.
especially when they're doing ground combos and everything. Then
Yeah.
yeah.
The thing is, ground combos for Insect Glaive do so much damage, though. Like, it's a disgusting amount of damage, but everyone stays up in the air, which makes me really sad.
Yeah, that's actually the thing with World. They introduced like insect glaive and everything, but then the damage on air is like so low
Yeah,
that you would rather stay on ground?
Because let's see,
The
in the old games with Insect Glaive, the air damage used to be very high. Like it was
yeah,
disgustingly high.
it's really bad though on world.
So pretty much in the old games, if you used an Insect Glaive, you could get like 4 or 5 mounts throughout a fight. It was a ridiculous amount. They nerfed that down a lot to the point where the Sword and Shield user will actually mount the monster before the Insect Glaive user.
Because yeah, on world their purpose is pretty much like to mount. Just mount the monster.
But the Sword and Shield player does it faster.
Yeah, it does
that's the
because
funny thing. Yeah. It's because the mount damage value is just higher. That's about it. Like
yeah, that's what you would rarely see people using Insect Glaive on world because of it.
Yeah. Because the thing is, like, it's still a good weapon if you use it the proper way, but if you use it in the way of like thinking, oh, I just need to be in the air 90% of the time, then yeah, that's you lose so much damage. Like, man.
But then I guess it's better. I mean, they did a good job on Rise. It hits harder now on Rise rather.
Okay. Because yeah, the other weapon I think had the most dramatic change when going from World to Rise was probably Hunting Horn.
Hunting Horn, because everyone's using Hunting Horn.
They changed the entire playstyle of the damn thing. Like, it is...
Thanks, Warbug. It's
like,
totally the Warbug.
It is... Like, new Hunting Horn is almost unrecognizable, is the thing.
I mean, because they think of the Hunting Horn as like a support weapon rather than like a DPS weapon because of the songs.
That thing is a DPS weapon, though.
Yeah, it is. It is a DPS weapon.
It's meant to be a DPS weapon. Like, the funny thing with Hunting Horn is when they first revealed Monsanto Rise at Monsanto World at E3, they made a joke of like, Hunting Horn, your support weapon. They show the Hunting Horn just beating the shit out of a Rafflos. It's like, yes, this is your support weapon.
It's still a blunt weapon and everything, and you just like having the song is like an addition actually.
Yeah, it's meant to be an addition, not your focus. You're not meant to just sit in the corner and play music. Nah. You're meant to be.
Yeah, that's
you're meant to use
dealing
the music damage.
To do damage. Dealing damage plus giving buffs to everyone.
Because yeah, the weird thing about Hunting Horn though is you had to treat it very weirdly in the old games. You had to treat it like a golf club, pretty much. So, you know where most weapons, you just face directly head on and then just fight it?
Attack.
Yeah. For Hunting Horn, you have to face it at an angle.
Because Hunting Horn looks really weird in terms of like attack motions as well as combos.
Its attack motions and combos are all slated around golf swings, pretty much. So, you want to be perpendicular instead of parallel. which is just really funny. It's like, oh yeah.
And... a lot of people doesn't know how to angle in terms of like Hunting Horn, so
yeah,
they're wasting like a lot of damage because of it.
Yeah, so in the end they just changed up how Hunting Horn worked. Now you don't really care too much about the angling, because you've just got way more moves that you can just pull out of your ass and make use of.
Also, with Rise and everything, like your movement using Hunting Horn is way better now as well.
It's really fast. Like the moment you have the self buff up, you're just way too fast in comparison.
You're zooming through the whole map.
Yep. But yeah, Monhan is just one of those game series that I think will just never really die out, just in terms of being able to grab more and more people in eventually.
Like, I mean, from how like World does it ended, and after that there's Rise.
Yeah,
it's pretty much same. It's pretty much same with the other games. Like after one of the other games finished the support and everything, they release another game.
Let's see. I think the most interesting case right now is not necessarily Monster Hunter World to Monster Hunter Rise, but PSO2 to PSO2 New Genesis.
Oh, man, I kind of really regret that I didn't play that much PSO2.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, because around the time I don't have the proper setup or like a better laptop or PC for it,
Fair,
and
fair.
it takes like a shit ton of resources.
You'd be surprised how potato you can make PSO2 look while still functioning,
Yeah.
is what I will say.
Oh, I mean, I used to have like a really bad
Oh,
setup and
that
everything,
bad.
so
Okay. In that case, then yeah.
it's like no, I don't perceive what I want to play.
Because yeah, I played PSO2 way back in like 2012, back on the Japan server even. I was like,
Ah, yes, a Jeep.
man.
I played I played a bit for like on the GP server actually.
'Cause, yeah, JP server was fun. The progression speed was a lot slower. Then you got to the North American server and I was like, oh, you have to do something new every single week or you're screwed.
But then around the time I was like, I tried playing for like a week and yeah, my setup couldn't handle it actually. So I was like, I'll just give it up.
Because yeah, the case
Like
with PSO2 to New Genesis is it's 8 years worth of content now transitioning into a new game entirely.
oh, it's actually like a long time. Huh?
Yeah, because like I said, back in 2012,
Back in pretty much yeah.
it's 8-year anniversary. They announced New Genesis, and I think it's by the 9th year they will have New Genesis released. So by next month sometime.
Yeah, they said next month, and a lot of people a lot of people in Alt F4 will play it actually.
I mean,
So
I'm probably
for
going
sure,
to I'm going to transfer my character over most likely. So yeah.
you will see people. You would see like this actually on Alt F4. There's a lot of fails on the game. I won't say who, but there's actually one super whale, then probably this one you can say like a bit whale.
Oh boy. I don't know. For me,
I won't say any. Yeah.
on PSO2, if I'm playing hardcore, I'll usually pick up the subscription. If not, then yeah, I'll just play casually. Because the subscription provides a lot of benefits, a ridiculous amount of benefits. So I'm just like, yeah, if I'm playing properly, then yeah, I'll play properly.
It's pretty much with other games as well. Yeah, like the subscription and everything.
Yeah. Like FF14, that's sub-based entirely, and that's just like, oh man.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I don't like on FF14 actually, like the monthly sub about it, but then I
Yeah.
cannot really.
Like the monthly sub makes for very unhealthy habits when it comes to playing, at least for myself.
Yeah.
Because when I figure, oh yeah, I'm paying a monthly sub, oh I better get my hours out of this for the monthly sub that I paid.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a thing. Yeah. Because on my old account, I was like playing pretty much every day that I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah, that was FF14 for me when I was still in the raiding scene. I was just like, yeah, I need to get my gear up, I need to get this or that, I need to get best in slot, or at least try to get best in slot, and then I was like, not doing anything else for most of the day, but playing FF14 and progging raid, pretty much.
So yeah, I guess yeah, it's one of the reasons why I don't like the monthly subscription for FF14. That's the only thing.
Yeah, the thing with the monthly subscription which really kills me though is the fact that when you break it down to its core elements, you realize, oh, I'm paying this monthly subscription for this number of expert tomestones every month. And that's when it starts feeling really bad.
But yeah, you would totally feel about it.
Yeah, like when you start being able to quantize what you're actually paying for is when you start feeling terrible, essentially. Like, for instance, whenever it was expert roulette tomestones, it was about 450 tomestones for the week. Therefore, within the month, you would accumulate roughly 1,800. Thereabouts.
Oh,
yeah, which would be roughly 2 to 3 pieces of endgame gear. So then it boiled down to, oh, I'm spending X amount of money on my subscription to get X amount of endgame gear, unless I happen to get lucky in the raid and roll X amount of extra gear as well.
X amount.
So at
I
that
don't like.
point, yeah, at that point it felt really bad paying a subscription.
I think I only played like 2 months actually, like on my other account, like and after that I kind of stopped. I
Fair
said to
enough,
myself,
fair enough.
it was not worth it to.
My insanity just kept going down the more FF that I played.
Yeah, that one as well. Yeah.
I was just like, man, every time I'm just like on there improving my DPS rotation, if not improving my DPS by getting better gear, and I was just like, what am I doing this for? Oh,
Like you would question yourself. I was like, why am I doing this?
why am I doing this? Why did I just spend 3 hours on a training dummy optimizing a rotation? Save me.
I mean, that's the thing with MMORPG. You have to properly check the rotation of skills, and like I was like,
Yeah.
and after that, that's it. I spent like pretty much the whole day just on the training dummy with the rotations and everything.
Because, yeah, I'd be the kind of guy which would get really salty when I looked over at a passer and saw that Raid's DPS is too low. Man.
I mean, yeah, I think you would. Yeah, you would totally get frustrated, especially if you're the DPS.
Yep. The thing that, let's see, the thing that tilted me off the game was there was a certain boss which I came into and I hadn't played the game in like a year, and they had a free weekend come up, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll check out the game for the free weekend. If it's good enough, or if there have been enough improvements since last time I logged in, then yeah, sure, I'll stay with the game. Instead, when I came in, I did a certain boss fight, and we wiped 3 times. It was a very easy boss fight. I got very salty, extremely salty, because then I looked at the passer and I got even more salty. Because it was a case of, I haven't played for a year. Why am I the top of the pass by a country mile? This isn't right. Something's wrong.
People, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, nah, I'm done with FF. I'm done. I'm out of here.
But yeah, I think a lot of people will play more FF because like the new patch and everything.
Yeah, definitely. Like, for myself, I don't really have too much of a community to go back to in FF either, so yeah, I don't have as much incentive to come back. Compared to, say, PSO, where PSO I was part of, like, hardcore guild and just kept going through on the hardcore grind, pretty much. Like, it was hardcore to the point where if you were inactive for about a week, they kicked you out.
They kick you out.
Yeah. They kick you out and they cycle in new players, so yeah. I think I stopped playing for over a month now, so yeah, they've definitely kicked me out by now.
Wait, but yeah, those kind of kills are like really. Let's say yeah, you haven't been active for like a week. They will message you, then if you say that something's happening, then yeah, they will totally kick you and everything.
Yeah, like I don't mind that kind of mentality at times because it does mean that anyone who is there is up to play content. Like if you mention that you want to grind something or you want to do this, there'll usually be a couple of people which will put up their hands and be like, yeah, sure, we'll join you. Instead of when you're in a more casual guild where everyone's just like chatting away or just
chatting away, chilling, yeah,
chilling, doing fashion or whatever. I'm just like, I don't know. While the fashion in PSO2 is really good and fashion in like FF is really good and all, I'm there for the gameplay rather than the more community element through it.
Yeah, actually, if ever I'm going to play those kind of games, I'm more into the gameplay, like being hardcore and everything. So I try to not look.
Because yeah, I think the only part of FF that I did for very, very casual stuff was since they had instruments in the game that you could play, I was like, all right, sure, I'll hook up my keyboard, start playing some songs in the middle of the plaza sometime.
Oh, that's actually good.
Yeah, because they had a very, very robust performance system, and that's one of the features I do miss because it is funny to just rock up in the middle of town and start playing random anime openings. And everyone just being like, what the hell are you doing?
They're pretty much just vibing and everything.
Yeah, no, it's fun to do that kind of stuff sometimes. Because for that particular server, that was let's see, that was one of my alt characters, which I just leveled up specifically to have that function. And just go out into cities and be like, yes, I am a bard. Yes, I play this kind of stuff. Here you go.
I'm a bard. Listen to me singing.
Man, if they had a singing or voice function in FF, that would be way too chaotic. Holy hell.
I wish they don't add it.
They really shouldn't. Adding voice into most games is a disaster, usually.
It's a disaster, so it's not really the best thing that you can,
Yeah, you get the Xbox Live lobby experience.
Everyone will have like an open mic and you will hear wind and everything.
Open mic is disastrous at times for several reasons. It can be very funny in certain games, though. For instance, if you ever play Rust or any survival horror sort of game, a survival crafting horror game, having open microphone is absolutely hilarious because you will run into someone, they will either try and rob you or try and ask for peace or whatever. And they're like, "Oh yeah, don't shoot.
But then they would shoot after.
Yeah.
It's like with, if I recall, PUBG around like PUBG when it's starting, they have also like voice opens and so.
Oh yeah, like, they did have open voice. That was funny to watch as well.
It was chaotic as shit.
I mean, when you're dumping 100 players, yeah. When you're dumping 100 players into one huge map, yes, that's what you are getting. Absolute, like, pure, unadulterated chaos.
I was like, oh no. You will see people saying like, hello, someone's there. They will keep saying they are friendly, but they're actually not.
Yeah, as it tends to happen with those kinds of games, you can never trust anybody.
Yep.
Yeah, that reminds me of one of the dodgiest advertisements I ever saw for a game, actually. So, how does one put it? You know the Fire Emblem series of games?
I know, but I haven't played actually.
Okay.
I know Yasin will hate. I know Yasin will hate me because of it.
Okay, so the main thing with a lot of those is a lot of them do work off of the power of friendship and just trusting random people to join your army and whatever.
Ah, I see.
There was a very dodgy advertisement in North America, which was actually, they showed a bunch of like weird guys suited up in armor and whatever. Then they watched a guy just eat some random meat and die of food poisoning or whatever. And they're just like,
food poison.
It's like, ha 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 ha, he shouldn't have eaten that. Then it was like, Fire Emblem, trust nobody.
Oh, sure.
It was a very, very dodgy ad considering what the game was like. I was like, what the hell is this?
It's different from what the game advertised from what the advertisement does.
Yeah, pretty much. Because the game itself is very much a case of there will be a lot of enemy units that you can actually recruit throughout the game playing, essentially. It's like, oh yeah, they're an enemy for now, but they're pretty anime character. Of course you can recruit them to your army.
Of course you can. That's why I don't perceive fate.
But yeah, anyhow, let's move on to these last two questions I've got written down. After that extraordinarily long tangent, as it happens.
Thanks, Monster Hunter.
Anyhow, let's see. Let's go with the... Let's go with the dumb interview style question first. So, what are your goals for the future?
Goals for the future? It's actually like really vague, but I guess celebrating first the 1 year anniversary.
Oh, 1 year. Is that coming up soon for you?
It's actually like in 3 or 4 months actually.
Oh, that is actually pretty soon. Actually, wait, that's pretty soon for a lot of people now, come to think of it. Oh.
Yeah. But then probably like also releasing more content as well as trying to do covers.
Are you going to go into the ASMR content?
Probably when I buy my Tascam or like a video.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'll totally try to dip into ASMR for a bit, and if it works, then it works. Then if not, I don't know. I'll probably keep trying. Christ. Then probably I I guess trying to do more just chatting as well. I'm actually really bad in terms of like just chatting streams.
Don't worry,
It's
I
one.
am equally terrible usually. If it's solo, I cannot handle it for the life of me. If it's in a duo, or if it's like duo interview style, I can handle myself at least. But yeah, just
So
chatting
yeah,
is
like
rough.
it's one of the things. Yeah, it's one of the things I really wanna learn more or like get better at it. Then yeah, probably try to do more collabs as well.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
collabs tend to be pretty worthwhile at times. There are cases where collabs do nothing for people, but then on the smaller scale of things, yeah, collabs are really nice.
I mean, collabs for me is actually like more of like to learn. I mean, to know people and everything.
Fair enough, fair
I
enough.
don't really, yeah, I don't really mind my views. I actually, yeah, I don't really mind about my views and everything. I just wanna, if it's collab, it's either I just want the audience or me myself to have fun and everything.
Fair.
But like those are like my small goals for like for the future.
Fair enough. Let's see, 1 year though, huh? Come to think of it, I've been doing this for almost 6 months myself. Jesus. Because, yeah.
You won't actually really notice like how times pass, especially if either you're enjoying what you do.
Because, yeah, I started most of this on a complete and total whim. Just, I was feeling ridiculously restless one day, so I checked how fast my internet was, and I realized, wait, my internet's just fast enough for me to be able to stream. Hold on a second
And
here.
there we go.
It's like, hold on a second here. Why haven't I been doing this for the past year already? Because streaming was definitely one of those things I wanted to get into sooner rather than later.
So actually, when I started first like VTubing as well, like it's weird.
How so? How so?
I mean, it's like I know myself that like, I watch a lot of VTuber and everything, but yeah, trying to stream on your own like it's way different experience. You have to talk. You have to try to make the chat lively. You have to like talk to random people and everything.
Yep.
So like it's like, I mean, I was expecting it, but I wasn't expecting it to be like it's like way harder.
This was pretty much what I expected when it came to streaming for the most part, because I had once gone out busking for a while. Because busking's roughly the same kind of feeling. You are broadcasting out to a whole bunch of passerbyers which will not necessarily care about you. So if you manage to catch any of their attention and they watch along, then by all means. Go ahead and make a show out of things, essentially.
I guess that's one of the plus, I guess.
Because yeah, I feel streaming on the smaller scale is roughly the same kind of feeling. Sure, people will pass by, come in and come out. Anyone who stays there, do accommodate where you can.
Yeah, like even like small talks and everything, like small interactions would be like really like a big additional thing if ever you stream, because it helps you to develop as a streamer as well.
Yeah, pretty much. Because yeah, streaming craft is one of those things which is a bit on the sometimes on the lackluster side in the VTubing community, is what I'll say. Because there are some people which are there are some people which are naturally good streamers and can keep talking endlessly, pretty much, even if there isn't a crowd, so to speak. But then there are other people which are a bit more on the blank slate side of things.
I can say that I'm actually like on the middle. Actually, I'm starting to get like I'm starting to talk more and everything in terms of like, even like, let's say like a vibe, like a pretty decent silent stream and everything. I'm starting to like talk to the audience, or like even if there's no one's there. Yeah, it's starting to get there.
That's a good thing, being able to see yourself developing. Because yeah, I remember when I started out streaming, it was streaming to an audience of 0 and being at a complete and total loss, apart from, I'll just play the game in front of me. And that was about it.
As well, yeah.
And then when I had my first viewer show up, I was like, oh, what the hell? Why are you watching me?
Yeah, that was actually the thing where like that stuff as well. Like, why would you watch me? There's actually more like better people to watch and everything.
It turned out he was
But
trying to
you,
suck me into a pyramid scheme.
oh, oh, that's actually worse then.
No, that was hilarious, that one. Like, that was actually a pretty fun experience, though, because, yeah.
I didn't expect your first viewer to be like someone like that.
Because it was a case of, oh, yeah, oh, do you want to join in on this kind of stuff? I'm like, this doesn't sound too bad, because it was like tournaments and whatnot. Then it was like, oh, yeah, you want to join in on the tournaments? Okay, so you need to sign up on this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, no.
It's like, oh, God, that sounds very, very suspicious, buddy. Why would you come to an absolute no-name and then suddenly say, hey, you know what you could be doing right now instead? I'm just like, oh, God. Why?
Oh, no. I can imagine that. I can imagine actually like that being frequent now, because especially like they added VTuber tags and everything. So like, and especially like if they're someone's like they're not watching you and everything, they would just go to the stream and like say hi and everything, then do weird shit.
Yeah, let's see. Have you had any kind of weird viewers pop up before? Well, what's
Yeah, actually had.
What's the strangest
I guess
viewer
so.
interaction you've had so far then?
They were like releasing like a lot of this weird vibe, especially like how they talk and everything. Since they keep asking like the location where I am and everything.
Oh.
Then yeah, I know. Then some of them are like, I can see your face, blah blah, and then those kind of stuff. Actually, there's actually like a few of those like when it's either when I also like started streaming as well. Then some of them are like they just come and go on my stream. But it's really, it's not a lot. You can say like I can count it with my fingers.
Fair enough. Let's say, in my own personal experience with weird viewers, the weirdest viewers I have are my IRL friends.
Oh, so I guess your IRLs being weird and everything.
But when my IRLs come in, they do a lot of memeing and a lot of trolling, and I'm like, God damn it, you guys.
I mean, that makes content and everything.
Yeah, it's like, I know exactly why you guys are here and why you're posting that kind of stuff, but god damn it.
Understandable.
It got to the point one time where it was like, okay, I see them all in a different Discord call.
They were talking about like how they would make sure stream chaotic and everything.
Yeah, pretty much. So I dropped in, I was like, hey buddy. And it took them a moment to realize, and they're just like, oh shit. No, that was a fun case to mess with, because yeah, they took it pretty well. They were just like, oh god, what the fuck are you doing here all of a sudden?
The content goes stonks.
Because there are some fun experiences like that with audience members, but then yeah, there are also the more yikes cases.
Yeah, if it's usually like weird, I try to like entertain it even if like it's weird. But if you can say as like someone who also mods and everything, it's like if I can feel that's already bad, you just click. I just click the ban button and whatever. That's the most easiest way to avoid those kind of people.
I think the one that I really didn't want to take any responsibility for one time was there was someone who came in being suicidal, and I was like, yeah, buddy, this isn't the place for it. Go seek help. I am not your bloody therapist. Go get help.
Thing as well.
But yeah.
Yeah, that one as well. So good thing I haven't actually. I only encountered probably like one of them, those kind of people.
But yeah, for myself, I have dealt with way too many of those kinds of incidents in my life. I don't need to deal with them online as well. It's the thing.
I mean, especially like online, and like, everyone have like an access to internet and everything. So
yeah,
you will see them more frequently. Especially, I think that especially when they added a VTuber tag.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
everyone should be like,
the VTuber tag, I'm gonna say, will have some benefits and some disadvantages at the same time, for sure.
that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. One, it could
So I
mean
guess,
just like your discoverability may go up, but at the same time, the tag is already crazy inundated as it is.
yeah,
So
you just wish
it'll, yeah,
you just wish to yourself that you would see more good crowd rather than bad crowd.
yeah, hopefully. Because yeah, it's very noticeable at the top of the VTuber tag. They are at the top by like a country mile, essentially.
Yeah.
Whereas as you scroll down, when you get down to, let's see, if you can reach about 30 viewers, you're already in the upper echelon and
In
probably
the upper,
easily,
yeah.
you're probably easily discoverable, actually, by the VTuber tag. Because you don't need to scroll too far down to get within the
Yeah, that's
range
true.
of like 30 viewers. And then you can be discoverable through there. However, when you drop into like into the tens or into the teens for the most part, then suddenly, yeah, it becomes extremely inundated. And it only gets worse and worse as you get lower and lower.
Yeah, that's true.
When you get into the realm of free viewers, that's functionally everyone else, pretty much.
But yeah, that's the thing with the VTuber tag. It would backfire on a way,
In a
but
way,
yeah,
like it's healthy to have at least, but it benefits the people which have already become established rather than the people which are new, essentially. Unless you could actually put in like a new VTuber tag, or if there was like a distinction between new VTubers and veteran VTubers or that kind of stuff, which would be funny. But that kind of thing would actually work to help discoverability out in comparison.
yeah, yeah. It would totally help. Yeah, it's gonna be ups and downs for it for sure. That's for sure.
For now, though, having it all under one blanket tag is not necessarily like the greatest benefit for now, but it'll help. It'll help in the short run, anyhow. Just so people figuring, oh yeah, I can actually tag something different, and actually have some degree of being thrown on a list somewhere that someone may one day happen to peruse and
Just
actually end up finding.
also like, also you can include the especially like it's going to be summer and everything, so everyone's going to have free time. So
Oh,
the VTuber
okay.
tag will explode more.
I mean, to be fair, we just more or less went through COVID season where people were inside and in need of content, so
That's true. Yeah, that one as well.
I guess summer COVID season, here we go. Christ. That's
also, I
gonna,
also
yeah.
I feel that probably after COVID and everything, you will see like a lower count of VTubers streaming as well.
Mhm.
Because yeah, they will be like back on their normal lives and everything.
Yeah,
That I mean, because for sure that other people only did VTubing because it was COVID.
yeah. It was definitely opportunity to take. Like
And yeah,
like myself, if I was still living my usual life 2 years ago, I don't think I'd even have time to consider streaming at all. Because
well, that's true. That's true.
I was the kind of bastard which would go out at least, let's say, 6 to 7 times in a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, every day I would be doing something different, and that was something rather insane because it'd either be like uni classes, club stuff, radio, work, band commitments, a couple of other stuff on top of that. It was some insane stuff. But
I guess
yeah,
people who would like stay if ever are just the ones who are like serious about VTubing and everything, or
mhm.
they like watch a lot of Holo and Niji already. Yeah, that's what
uh,
I feel.
people that stay around in this community will be very much the dedicated ones, I feel. Because once the peak is gone, there'll be less attention in general over to VTubing.
Yeah, sure.
The crowd that pays attention to indies, for instance, will likely shrink a fair bit. But eventually I think it'll just plateau out, and anyone who remains will actually remain as someone like a veteran or someone who's stuck in it for a long time.
Or it's gonna be
'Cause-
like it's gonna be opposite if ever. Like people would stay and it would still go booming. Especially the introduction of Holo as well as Niji's EN team.
Hmm. If I'm
But then
honest,
yeah.
Niji's EN team didn't actually impress me very much. Like just from like a technical standpoint, I was very underwhelmed essentially.
I mean,
Because
they showed DGN like so fast and everything.
yeah, like there was no build up to their debut. It was pretty much 3 days, and then boom, they were out. The teaser trailer they released was actually very badly mixed in terms of audio. Like it sounded like they were recording in a, how does one say, an airport terminal almost somehow.
Oh no.
Complete with like jets flying over and everything, because that weird jet flyover sound was really loud in all of their trailers. I was just like, I can barely hear your voices, and this sound is very crunchy right now.
Well, it's gonna be their first
Yeah,
wave. So
yeah. The main thing was though that was the first impression they gave, and I was like, I'm not a very big fan of it. Was the thing.
I mean, everyone has their own standpoint in terms of like the corporates and everything.
Like, for me, if you're at the corporate level, you should really have the skills at that point, is the thing, is what I find. If you are, because you are getting an immense amount of support, and you have many people's livelihood now riding on your back, instead of just yourself. As an indie, you practically only have yourself to blame.
That's true.
When you're a corporate, when you screw up, the rest of the hierarchy has to do something about it, essentially. But yeah, I don't know. The other thing that killed me though was the original song, because the original song just, if I'm honest, they are not very good soloists, but they are very good when they sing together. I will give them that. They are very good when they sing together and layered, but as solo artists, they don't do particularly well.
I mean, in terms of like Niji, they tend to improve their talents as well. So
yeah, they as an agency, it is one of your responsibilities to improve your talents and not just manage them.
Also, I think they kind of show Lazulite say idol once. So
yeah. As the idol ones, I'm somewhat disappointed if that is the angle they're going for.
No, because I mean, like JP idols. I mean, like on how they think of idols, it's like even if they're better or something, they would try to make them improve while with the viewer and everything. So
that logic. No, that logic I actually like for idol stuff, which is just
it might be that actually. That's what I feel.
It's the very grassroots, down to earth approach, which is just, oh yes, we'd like to grow with our audience. Unfortunately, I don't think that's entirely possible with the amount of exposure they got, which is funny, but
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It's gonna be different for corporate, so
yeah. Yeah, I think the main thing that killed me about their first song, though, was that it very much felt like whoever wrote it was very much intending for it to be in Japanese at first.
I mean, it's Mafu Mafu.
Yeah,
so...
it was Mafu Mafu, and there was some lines where you're just like, oh yeah, that was meant to be Japanese. That was definitely meant to be Japanese.
That's why probably Hoshikawa totally helped and everything.
Yeah, they had another guy come in to consult for lyrics and whatnot, some English fella. They did their best. That's what I'll say. They did their best, but
it's really hard to translate. Yeah, especially if you're going to translate it like word by word. So
yeah, it was definitely word by word.
It's gonna be way different. So
because yeah, like there are specific lines in there which are like rainbow colored. I'm just like, in Japanese you would just read this as Nijiro, which is much faster, much cleaner, and then yeah,
it's more on bad if it's like Nijisanji. Yeah.
And that particular debut, I was not really the most impressed with, and I don't really engage too much in their content afterwards because I'm just like, it was okay.
I mean, that's the thing with, as you can say, like indie. They try. It's either they will engage with corporate and everything. Some people, I mean, some VTubers try to interact with corporate stuff. So
Yeah. Sometimes the amount of clout chasing you see with the corporates is funny, and I can't help but laugh when I see the traction on some of those posts. But
I mean, yeah, you will see like everyone commenting and everything, and I just don't. I mean, I would engage in everything if it's something that I would really like.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. I had a train of thought going on in my head that I had just lost. Apparently, Christ.
Oh no.
Happens more often than I am proud to admit, but hey. May as well just move on to the next question I've got listed here then, in which case. Which is more or less usually the final question I ask people, so... Recommend a drink. Any drink.
Drink? I mean, as a barista, I'll probably go for coffee, but...
What kind of coffee are we talking, though?
Not a lot of people like black. That's the thing. So I probably just recommend latte or cappuccino, the basic bitches of coffee. But then it's still good and everything.
Fair
and
enough,
probably
fair
like
enough.
something you would drink on a bar. I don't think everyone drinks hard liquor, so I cannot really recommend whiskey on rocks.
I see.
Because
You're a fellow that very much enjoys a bitter taste, then.
Yeah, I don't know. Ever since like COVID happens, I was like, let's try different things. And I was like, it's one of those different things, like the whiskey.
Yeah.
Because I drink vodka and tequila. That's pretty simple. That's pretty simple to drink. But whiskey
man.
itself is way different.
Yeah, whiskey tends to have some very complex nuances to it. Very different flavors.
So,
yeah.
And at first it was like, oh, this kind of taste. But then yeah, as I get used to it, I was like, this tastes good and everything. You would taste like how sweet or how aged the drink is. And you would also notice if it's a bad whiskey. Because yeah, when you're trying a lot of, I mean, when I was like trying whiskey, I was like, this one's good, this one's bad, this one's complex, those kind of stuff.
For whiskey, let's see, I normally just go with Canadian or Irish, either of those usually. Yeah. They're slightly different, either maltier or sweeter flavor for the most part. For American whiskeys, I normally avoid them outside of, I think, Maker's Mark. I forget if that's specifically American, but that one's a more... I think that one had, like, honey or something mixed into it. Anyway. Let's see. No. But, yeah, the one that I know is just completely vile as far as whiskeys go is just, like, Red Label. The moment you see
Red
Johnny,
Label, yeah.
Yeah, the moment you see Johnny Walker's Red Label... Like, you can tell that it is terrible the moment you sip on it. It's just like, oh man, this is awful.
Yeah, it's one of those like I won't even try to finish it.
Because when I pour it out and try and drink it, I'm just like, yeah, this is some very sharp stuff. I'm pretty sure most whiskey doesn't taste quite this sharp.
Yeah, like some whiskey have like this weird taste that like it stays for the tongue. I mean, for the tongue and the throat for a while, and it's unpleasant feeling because some whiskey is like, yeah, it's like come and go. Like you would just taste the whiskey like one time when drinking, and if it lingers for too long, it's really bad.
Yeah, it comes down to aftertaste, and usually you want something smooth if possible.
Yeah. That's the thing. I want something smooth and everything. So
because yeah, if you're having it just on the rocks, then yeah, you want something smooth that you can actually sip at, not something that's coarse or sharp, or just any kind of vile.
Yeah, because the first one that I tried was sharp. I was like, oh no, this is bad.
Because if I want something sharp as a nail, I'm usually going for gin instead.
Oh yeah, gin as well.
Because yeah,
I never liked gin.
Oh man.
That's why actually it's like actually that's why I'm more into tequila as well. Tequila's really smooth and everything, so it's like is it a drink, and if it's going to be like something with like with an aftertaste, you can always use lemon or salt for it. So
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've seen people which just do both. They have the salt and then the lime afterwards.
yeah, so
For me, for tequila, I normally go without the salt. I just go for the lime if it's
for the
offered.
lime,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
and probably
it's
after that.
yeah, it's not too bad tequila these days.
It's
I actually used to hate the stuff a lot. I couldn't handle it very well.
I pretty much got used to it because like some of my friends are actually drinking it. Then yeah, I think after like a few, like a few times, and then I got used to it.
Because yeah, my opinion changed like only a couple of weeks ago when I was out with a couple of the Sydney VTubing lot, just going out for drinks. Well,
Oh, they,
it was hot pot and drinks, and one place that we ended up at was all the way across the harbor, and we just came in. We were like, what do we want? You know what? Let's start with shots. We go up to the bartender. They're just like, oh yeah, we're closing up soon. We're just like, oh, you guys want shots for the road?
oh,
So we just had shots for the road. It was just a bunch of tequila shots, salt and lime, and I was like,
lime.
that actually went down a lot smoother than I thought, and it was a relatively cold night, so I was like, that's actually not too bad. Decently warming as well.
It's I mean, yeah, tequilas are really good for like social gatherings and everything.
Yeah. And then we ended up walking over to another bar, and yeah, we just spent quite a bit of time there instead. And it was not as chill a bar. It was a very hotel style one, so it was very.
It's gonna be chaotic.
It was
Yeah,
pretty on the chaotic side. Lots of sports and stuff being played. Yeah. It was the case of not my first pick usually, because I normally choose the more classier places, I guess, more toned back.
you would totally go for like something like chill and everything.
Yeah, like I
Especially like if
normally
you're drinking.
go for
If you're
yeah. I normally go for a
especially if you're
cocktail
drinking.
bar, so yeah. Or a cocktail bar off in a certain part of the city, which is just locked away in like an alleyway, so barely anyone finds it.
Oh, that's actually like a good spot if ever. Not not a lot of people inside, but it's like it's just you just chilling and drinking.
Yeah, it's a Japanese style bar focused around their whiskey, so it's like, yeah.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, whiskey in the Japanese bar. Then yeah.
They've got a lot of good stuff. Like you can buy bottle lockers there as well. So if
Well,
you
actually, the ones that I'm drinking right now is a Japanese whiskey, actually.
oh okay.
So like it's really smooth and everything.
Let's see. The last time I had a Japanese whiskey was in a highball. So yeah,
Highball.
yeah, just highball. So pretty much just soda, a bit of lime, then just the whiskey itself. I was like, yeah, this is simple enough to enjoy. Just sip at it for most of the night.
I mean, highballs are really good, like once in a while.
Yeah, it's very simple to make, very easy to goes down very easy as well. So it saves a lot of effort and ingredients compared to say
How about review with vodka then?
vodka, potatoes.
Or-
My view on vodka for the most part is if I'm drinking it, I am probably at a party that I want to get drunk at.
that's actually true. Especially like
yeah.
vodka, then you're making a Jaeger bomb. Like
Oh yeah, Jaeger bombs are.
I was like,
Jaeger bombs go against every rule of bartending.
I know,
basically.
I know, but like, especially like if you want to enjoy it and everything, you just want to just, you're in a party and everything,
Yeah.
and you just want to get drunk. Cause like, Jaeger bomb, we go.
The worst part about the Jaeger bomb is your body is telling you, yes, you're meant to be on a high, but your body is also on a very big low.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh man. No, vodka.
But yeah,
vodka. There's some smooth ones and some which are just absolutely vile. Like for me,
that's true. Yeah.
if I get served a Smirnoff, I'm just gonna be like, oh man, this is terrible. If I get served a Grey Goose, I will still think, oh yeah, this is pretty bad, but it's all right. I get served an Absolute, I'm like, getting better.
I get so yeah, it still depends on the preference and everything.
But when you get to the point of, let's see, Bedevirs or Russian Standard, that's when you start getting into the better stuff. And it's like, oh,
Yeah,
this is meant to be vodka. This is very smooth for vodka.
that's the thing. It's like I try to like look for the Russian added flavor for vodka.
Yeah. Because then you get like the variations on vodka, which are just funny. The fact that these days modern day soju is just vodka or flavored vodka.
Just vodka.
Yeah.
Flavored vodka.
Because it used to be rice wine. It used to be rice wine, but in more recent modern productions, they've switched over to using starch. So yes, the base spirit has become vodka instead of rice wine. So modern day soju is, or modern day soju that's produced out in the West is very different in comparison.
But soju and everything like tastes good and everything, but some soju is actually really sick. Some of the brands are bad.
Pretty much, yeah. Then the other kind of vodka is gin, because gin is just flavored vodka.
Flavored vodka.
Only the irony is gin is terrible if you drink it straight. Like, actually terrible if you drink it straight. Never drink gin straight. You're asking for
Death.
Yes, you are asking for death, because what happens is vodka is already very sharp, usually, and straight to the nose almost. Gin will cleanse out your nose entirely, and then some.
If it must clean out your mouth as well, and I don't know, it's like I just don't like. I only like fruity gins actually.
Because yeah, gin itself, it's vodka at base, and then botanicals usually, so you end up with some very. You can end up with a very herbal taste. You're almost having like medicine for gin.
Medicine, yeah.
Like there are some gins out there where they can mix in a bit more fruit and you can have something a bit more aromatic, but for the most part it is very much medicinal seeming. It's the point where
it's really like a hit or miss if ever.
It's the point where at times I just joke that if you're drinking gin, you're probably a doctor or something.
You're drinking your own medicine.
You're so used to the flavor that you don't realize, but yeah. Gin is still my favorite spirit, just from the fact that you can just mix it very easily. Because I'm not the biggest fan of drinking spirits straight anymore. Like I used to do whiskey on the rocks very often, and I used to do vodka straight shots very often as well.
Yeah.
But nah, as I've gotten older, graduated, blah blah blah, it's been a case of, I'll loosen up a bit. don't need to go that hard on drinks.
Yeah, you cannot always go hard on drinks. That's the thing.
Yeah, the irony though is for the past month and a bit, I had been drinking at least 5 days a week, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Like it's it's not a case of like super excessive drinking. It's more just recreational, 1 or 2 glasses a night or something, apart from the occasional party. But yeah.
Oh, that should be fine. Yeah. Because actually, when COVID happened, I was like drinking every other day with like
oh man,
with like 2 or 3 glasses. And sometimes it gets like around 5, or sometimes like there's actually one time that I almost finished like a half of the vodka.
oh
it was really bad.
Yeah, half bottle of vodka. You're asking for about 12 to 14 drinks, roughly.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I have a high tolerance to alcohol actually, so.
Oh, fair enough. For myself,
so I feel like
my tolerance has actually crashed really hard since COVID.
Oh.
Like pre-COVID, I used to be in like 8 to 12 drinks basically before dying. Then now, like at this point of COVID, it's come to the point where after about 4, I'm just like, oh, yeah, nah, I'm weak.
Oh, it's pretty much like with like what half you used to do.
Yeah, because I don't know. I used to be a very active fella, going out almost 6-7 days a week, going wherever the hell. But now my body has turned into a potato, so it's like, yeah, alcohol.
It's totally because of COVID. It's totally because of COVID and everything.
COVID has very much just screwed me over. It's great.
I think for me, like COVID like helped my alcohol tolerance as well.
COVID did the absolute opposite for me, which is
yeah. It's like, but yeah, I think I can drink more now. I mean, I also drank before COVID, but socially only for social gatherings.
Fair enough, fair enough.
It's pretty much like how other people do, like social gatherings drinking. But then yeah, after during COVID, I kind of want to explore more drinks as well. So yeah, I just keep drinking
Mhm.
beer, cider, vodka, whiskey, tequila. No gin. I hate.
Ciders,
I actually hate. I
ciders
mean,
and
cider's like
beers are the one thing I can't stand very well at all, is the thing.
the taste.
Not necessarily the taste, just the effects of them, usually.
Oh,
Because it's less alcohol, but higher volume, usually.
higher volume. Yeah.
Which is what I do bad with, because for shots and stuff, I can do those very easily. For cocktails and mixed drinks of sorts, I'm normally fine with those, because they have a different kind of taste profile and experience. But for beer and ciders, I'm just like, nah, I am dead if I do this.
Because I usually get like one big mug for beer.
Yeah. For
But then also,
Australia, they're very cheap to get.
oh,
Like, if you go on happy hour, they're like $8 to $10 and you get a full jug. And it's just like,
oh,
yeah.
that's actually really cheap.
Yeah, like, if you go in certain places, it's very, very cheap. Because Australia drinking culture is... Every time is a good time to drink, pretty much.
Oh, I guess I'll enjoy it then.
Like, there will usually be a bar or something, a bar or a pub or just any kind of establishment just open and serving alcohol at any time of the day.
It's like the thing is like I'm also near downtown, so there's a lot of drinking place around my location as well. So
Fair enough,
when
fair enough.
when people want to drink, they will just say, "Oh, there's actually like a bar there," and they just go.
But
Yeah.
yeah, most of the bars are pretty much on public display in Australia. You can just you walk past the street, you'll probably walk past at least 5 or 6 of them, at least in
Oh,
the
I
city.
mean,
Yeah,
not bad.
and then the more locked away ones are like, oh, it's like second story or up above or wherever. And it's like,
Or some of them are like reservation.
hmm.
They want more classier stuff.
The more classier stuff's definitely by reservation, and they have a minimum spend at times as well. So if you
Actually,
make
those floors.
yeah, if you make the reservation, you're expected to spend about $50 minimum per person.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable. I'm not gonna lie.
It keeps their margins decently high anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if you storm in with like a big group, but you don't spend too much each, then it's not worth it for them compared to if they had a small group of people come in but spend like
100 something.
100 and something or buy like a whole reserve whiskey bottle or something. Because at the particular bar that I frequent, that place does whiskey lockers, and I think they start from like $200 for some pretty aged whiskey.
Oh,
Yeah. So
I mean, it's
yeah.
worth it, right?
Yeah, you pretty much buy a locker and they keep a bottle for you. And every time you visit, you can just ask for some of that bottle.
Oh, that's actually good then. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty nice service they offer. It is bloody expensive at times, but yeah. What they have on offer is the quality stuff, of course.
It's actually mine was like izakaya, and you pretty much just buy your own bottle and everything, and they would just use it to serve. They would use that drink that you bought to serve you and everything.
Oh,
but
okay.
then yeah,
That's,
you would still buy food and everything as well.
Fair enough. Izakaya style places I do like, because then you have something to eat while you are drinking.
I mean,
yeah.
It's really like more like with people as well. You can, let's say like probably like 4 to 5 people they usually recommend for that location.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, izakaya experience I've done once or twice, I think, and it was all right. It was mostly sake for the most part.
Sake, yeah.
Well, sake, nihonshu, yeah, the usual stuff you'd expect out of an izakaya. And the stuff's all right. It's like
it's not the best.
Rice wine isn't necessarily my favorite, so yeah.
But the thing that izakaya that I usually go, it's they actually serve whiskey and everything.
Oh,
So
damn.
it's a way different from like a traditional Japanese izakaya where they just serve sake and nihonshu.
Yeah. Because, let's see, I'm not a particular fan of sake. Not too much of one exactly. Like, there's some yuzu style stuff which I do like, but the standard stuff's a bit eh. In
Yeah, it's a bit
comparison,
meh.
though, one of the weird things I do end up liking quite a lot is Chinese rice wine.
Oh, is it? Was it good?
How does one put it? Minimum strength is about 40%.
Oh, so it's like you're drinking. Oh,
It is some very strong stuff, usually. And there was one time at a random party where, I don't know, it was a whole bunch of alcoholics, essentially. And one of them had bought a bottle which was 60%.
Oh,
And
okay.
so someone had just put their cup down, it had a bit of Coke or whatever left in it, and they were like, oh, whatever, just leave it to the side. I watched as one of the guys just pours that 60% in there.
Oh, I can imagine that. Oh shit. I'm kind of curious on how it tastes though.
The thing was, like, the other person saw, they were like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? They're like, that's 60%. I don't need to get that drunk. I'm just like, you want me to drink that for you? They're like, oh, yeah, you take it then. Me, I drank it. It was the smoothest thing I'd ever tasted. I was like, what the hell?
Okay. That's
I
really good
I
then.
expected it to burn like hell and actually kill someone inside, but nah, it was ridiculously smooth, like dangerously smooth. Probably the smoothest,
Okay.
one of the smoothest drinks I've ever had is the thing, and it was rated at
Yeah.
60%.
It's actually kind of scary if you say that. That's it.
Yeah,
If it's smooth, then you just keep bringing it.
yep, pretty much. It's a scary thought. It's like, wait, there is no way. There is no way that was 60%. So, yeah, it was definitely 60%, because some other people at the party definitely could not handle it at all.
Understandable, actually.
Because, yeah, there were two people pretty much on the floor on the balcony being taken care of, because they were just like, they had some of it, but they didn't expect it to be that strong. So
Usually, those kind of people are like, literally lightweight and or can only handle like one shot, two shots.
yeah, lightweight, and they were dead on the floor, pretty much. Because they had like one or two normal drinks before that, then they had one of those, and they were gone. Luckily for me, this was around the time when my tolerance was still ridiculously high, so
Really
I was
high.
perfectly fine to keep going. Because,
The
yeah,
perks of having like high tolerance and everything.
part of the perks, part of the responsibility, rather.
Yeah, especially if you're the last one standing.
Now, the worst cases I've had of that are, let's see. Worst cases I've had are New Year's parties. There are usually about a dozen casualties
Oh, that's true, actually.
at a house party. It's just like, oh yeah, it's New Year's, so there's a whole bunch of people just cut loose and drink as much as they want. And yeah,
I think
they just keel over and die for the most part. I'm just like, man.
I also think like birthdays as well as New Year's. It's gonna kill everyone in terms of like drinking.
The last birthday I went to, that thing, oh god, I died pretty much, because it had been so long since anyone had hosted anything that everyone decided to just go absolutely ham, and yeah, that was the result.
Just go YOLO and drink. I know.
Mhm. It was a case of, let's see, one other friend of mine kept being the enabler and was like, oh yeah, here, Iko, have another drink. Here, Iko, have another drink. Here, Iko, I mixed up something new, have another drink. And that repeated at least 6 or 7 times throughout the night.
Not the enabler. I know that feeling. Especially if they know that you're like high tolerance and everything, they would just like, here, drink more.
Yeah, the guy was running off the assumptions from the year before, where I did have high tolerance.
Oh no.
Because the guy was usually the other medic, pretty much.
Ah, okay, I see.
So I would be one medic, he would be the other medic usually.
So he was like, "Oh, he should be fine because like he usually helps
Yeah,
and everything."
it usually helps, has the high tolerance as well, blah blah blah. Me? No, my tolerance is gone. The fella taking care of me afterwards, yeah. Yeah, I see.
I can imagine, yeah, if I ever. I think the other guy will be like, "Wait, what happened?"
Yeah, pretty much, because, no, it was a fun night, because by the end of it was pretty much people playing Mahjong while people were playing Uma Musume as well, and it's just like, what the hell is going on?
Oh no, not Uma Musume, the horse catcher game.
Yeah, horse gotcha. Because it was pretty much a case of I'd be playing Mahjong while listening in on people playing Uma Musume, and they would be calling out about like whatever races they were having their horse go run in or whatever skill choices, blah blah blah. And it was some really hype stuff. You would have thought that you were watching actual horse races or something by
Yeah.
by how much
That's
these
the
guys
thing.
were cheering in the back.
Because that's the thing with Uma Musume. It's totally based off of like horse game and everything.
Yeah,
So it's kind of hype actually.
yeah, it was
But
surprisingly hype.
I won't try to play it because it's a gacha game.
They already caught me, so I'm already stuck in that hole.
Oh no.
So yeah, it was me bouncing back and forth between Mahjong and Uma Musume.
There's the ball.
So I would call a win on Mahjong. I'd be like, yeah, Ron. Then I'd turn around. Okay, how's the race going?
How's it?
Because they wouldn't actually skip any of the races. They'd actually watch the races from start to finish as well.
I mean, yes, it's the animation on the horse race actually looks really good.
Yeah, they actually look really nice, and they were playing some
Is it-
more stressful characters. So it was like, oh man.
Yeah. Because yeah, it's like some of my friends like posted how they do the training and everything. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, the training is full on the Idolmaster style gameplay loop, actually.
From what I see as well, yeah, it's like you're playing an Idol Master, but it's a horse game.
Yep. Instead of doing like performances or everything, nah, you're doing horse racing.
You're betting.
It is pretty much betting in a sense. A lot of it is full on RNG. But it's structured in such a way that it's a roguelike, so you end up just coming back for different runs.
Also, from what I see, it's like, yeah, the skill activation is RNG as well.
Yeah, you can improve the RNG, but there is definitely some RNG still tied in. So there's only so much you can control here and there.
But then yeah, I mean, it looks interesting and everything, even the anime. But I was like, nope. I just feel like not watching or doing any gacha games anymore because I cannot spend like already like 200 something already like the past week because of gacha game.
Oi, which gacha we talking here, buddy?
It was Honkai Impact, like the
Oh.
the sister company. I mean the sister game of
Yeah,
Genshin
yeah.
Impact. So I was like, nope. I'm like, I don't want to spend for a while now.
Man, Honkai. Oof. Oof. Honkai's
I was like,
production value is really high as well. Like,
it
man.
does, and the only thing I hate on the game is a lot of stuff is pretty much needs to be on the gacha.
Oh, yeah, because it's both the equipment gacha, I think it is.
The equipment, the equipment gacha, then the character gacha. So
Hmm.
it's really gacha, but it's really gacha heavy. That's why I kind of quit for like a year because of it. But then I come back again. I come back to hell. That's why.
Yeah, there are a bit of competitive elements here and there as well, to an extent. Like, what was it? Not Labyrinth, but some other thing that you were thrown into tears for. I forget when it comes to Honkai.
Honkai is like too many gacha that needs to be done, and of course, you yourself, you don't want to do you don't want to spend too much on gacha games.
And hey, it falls under the list of games, or the style of game that you would like, though. The character action more style.
Yeah, it does. That's the thing. It's like it's one of the games that I really like as well because it's like the character action. So I'm like, oh no.
And
I mean, also like with Genshin Impact, but Genshin Impact is more of like the grindy one.
okay, Genshin, I played very hardcore for like the first few weeks, and then I was like, you know, there's like nothing left to do in this game, so I just got completely bored of it and threw it out.
I mean, yeah, but I think they're trying to speed up the updates and everything. So
They had to crack in a new dev team basically for Genshin because it got to the point for MiHoYo. It got to the point where Genshin was too big for their internal team to handle, so they had to recruit a lot of new people.
a lot of new
And
people, yeah.
the new staff more or less started outnumbering the old staff. So it very much became a case of now we have to now we have to actually get the dev team used to working together between the old staff and the new staff.
As maybe especially like they're planning to release Inazuma soon as well. So they're trying to speed up a lot of stuff.
Like, if they manage to release Inazuma, I may consider giving the game a second look, just because by that point it means there's enough content that even with how far behind I would be, it just wouldn't matter.
Yeah, because it's gonna be like a lot of content and everything.
Yeah, because I'd be playing catch-up, and honestly, playing catch-up is when I enjoy playing RPGs more often.
It does actually, because you have more stuff to do, plus you don't feel like you're being left behind. I mean, you might feel left behind and everything, but yeah, if you know of yourself that you can easily catch up with the current version, it's really it gets kind of boring.
Because the main thing I find is when I play a game, if I'm if I'm behind, then there's the very core objective of I want to catch up, pretty much.
I want to catch up, yeah.
And you pretty much aim everything towards trying to catch up with the current, or with what's currently happening, essentially.
But yeah, the thing is like after you catch up, you're back to the tail. I don't have anything to do.
Yeah, when you catch up, then it becomes very much you have to make your own. You have to make your own objectives.
It's like it's really a repetitive game, grinding and everything.
Yeah, gotta fuel your own motivation, pretty much.
So I think it's also one of the reasons why I only play like a few gachas already, or gacha games, because I used to play like Grand Blue for like the past 4 years. So
Grand Blue, that's a big.
So
one.
yeah, so you can say I kind of spent already on that game like $3,000 for it for the whole 4 years. So actually no, so I'm like lower, but yeah.
Man.
I know Grand Blue is too much.
Oh, says man. Wait, what can you spend when it comes to Grand Blue? Come to think of it,
Skins. Skins plus the so-called surprise tickets.
Oh no.
Where you can pretty much get anything that you want, except it's like only not limited. Yeah. Then I guess probably like I don't think it's sparking is counted as in it, but yeah. It's mostly like buying skins, buying the soup ticks, so you can save before rolls as well.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I know. It's like it's something. Because I think I used to play like 10 gacha games a day.
Holy heck, Xeno. What?
Yeah, so
how do you keep up with 10 Huh? Wait, what would have the 10 been at the time?
Idol Master, pretty much like every Idol Master games.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Idol Master games, then some Grand Blue, Fate Grand Order. Then actually, I think I still have some of them. Yeah, Princess Connect, Art Knights, Grand Blue, Azure Lane, Fate Grand Order.
So it was around that time.
Honkai Impact, Dragalia Lost.
Oh.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the big titles at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, so also like I kind of used to also play like Kantai Collection. You can say it's not really a gacha game, but it's really one of.
No, Kantai was great. Kantai was great. Uh, Man,
So
I, I
yeah,
I dropped Kantai after land-based aircraft because I just could not deal with the fact that if your land-based aircraft got shot down completely, you had to grind the chevrons again. I was like,
yeah, that's what also like the grinding the planes. It's like nope, I don't want to do it
yeah,
anymore. Not gonna
plane
lie.
grinding was the worst thing by far in Kantai. Like everything else, sure, I can deal with the rest of the bullshit, but then plane grinding was just, oh no, this is too painful.
Because I
'Cause,
mean the bauxite is the hardest thing to farm. Bauxite.
yeah, bauxite's by far the hardest thing to farm. Because it generates at a third of the rate of every other resource.
Yeah, and aircraft carrier always like eats like a lot of them.
Yep.
Especially Akagi Kaga, then like the big titles for
Yeah.
aircraft carrier.
Yeah, Kaga just ate a crap ton because, yes, I have the biggest fleet size. I have the
Yeah,
biggest
the
squadron
biggest.
size.
Also, I guess with the addition of like the combined fleet,
Oh, yeah.
and especially if you're going for a lot of aircraft carriers, you will see like your bauxite as you're just 1/4 of the bauxite is gone.
Yeah, combined fleet, 4 aircraft carriers. Oh, what happened to my bauxite? Oh, minus 2,000. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, that's what the thing is like. Oh no.
Because it's just the case of, oh my god, so many planes getting shot down like that.
It's
I
yeah,
think,
especially like the boss
yes,
fights. Usually, it's usually on the boss fights.
yeah, like some of the events, like I think the event which really broke me at the time was it was one of the summer events. I think it was Teruzuki's event.
Midway, it's midway.
Midway.
It's the
Oh
mid.
god.
It's the midway event. That's what I feel.
Let's see. For me, it was Teruzuki's event because the boss for
Oh,
that one
Teruzuki.
had an AA cut in.
Oh yeah, now you mentioned it. Yeah.
Any boss with an AA cut in just made you want to rip your hair out because it's just like.
Buy boss fights.
It was either I don't bring planes and they get to have aerial superiority and nuke my ships, or I'm willing to sacrifice a whole bunch of
I usually bring like destroyers with a lot of AA cut-ins as well, so I can
yeah.
counter it.
You can try and counter it as much as you can, but then at the end of the day, it's just like, oh man, what if the cut-in
Everything's
doesn't
gone.
proc?
I know that the thing. That's why I think the best thing you bring like as like the three cranes. I mean, I forgot their names.
Oh yeah, the cranes were really good.
Yeah, they were like the best ones in terms of like the AA, and as well as Shigure.
Mhm.
Oh boy, it's talking about Kanko like feels so weird.
It's been a very long time for Cancol. I don't know. Among my IRL friends, we actually end up talking about Cancol very often still. Just the case
I mean,
of, yeah, the guys are very big ship or naval history, essentially. They're very big on
I
naval
guess that one.
history, so yeah. And
I can imagine, yeah.
it was Cancol's fault. It was
I mean,
definitely Cancol's fault for that one.
Kanko starting was like so good and everything, but yeah, they kind of fall off after.
Yeah. Like, they didn't adapt fast enough, because FGO got on mobile, then it was like, where's Cancol mobile, huh?
I mean, there was Kanko mobile and everything, but it
Yeah,
wasn't that it wasn't good enough.
The thing was, it took so long to get to that point, though, was the thing.
Yeah, it took like them like 2 years
Yeah,
after.
it took them 2 years after they announced it to finally get it on mobile. And by
So,
then more sophisticated gacha games had come out, and I was like, yeah, this feels
also,
bad.
I think around that time, Azurlin just released. So.
Oh yeah, around that time. There was also
It's a bad
Girls
competition.
Frontline as well at the time.
Girls Frontline as well, yeah.
Girls Frontline was one of the big ones because it was like, oh, this is just Cancol, but you're not at the mercy of the compass. Oh my god.
Also, yeah, you can control your units and everything,
Yeah.
and if they die, they don't sink. That's the thing.
Okay, did you ever sink anyone?
Yeah, actually, I actually sank one Kaini one time. And if
That's painful. Yeah.
being Kaini and then have being high rank commander, you're like It's really hard to grind for levels already after that one.
Yeah. Tiny is just.
It's brutal. There's too many requirements needed for it.
Who was it?
It was Hibiki Kaini.
Sabani. Oh.
Yeah, it's Bernie. The
Oh,
thing is, like,
man.
the thing with Kanko's like they punish you if you click wrong buttons.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I was supposed to retreat and everything. I clicked the wrong button. I was like, oh shit,
Like
someone's gonna die.
Like if they gave you at
And-
least the warning that a ship's damaged, then yeah. But they only give you that warning if it's like either the flagship or if it's a ship with a repair crew on it.
Yeah, ship with a repair queue. Yeah,
Man.
and
I
and usually the flagship is not. It's not the destroyer. It's usually like the higher ranks.
yeah,
ships,
because normally
so-
flagship also got flagship protection, so it usually wasn't the one that got destroyed either.
Yeah,
Because flagship protection was just broken as hell.
it was really broken.
Like if you really wanted a ship to survive, yeah, it's just your flagship. Problem solved.
And usually my flagship is like, I don't know, Kirishima or Kaga.
Mhm. The flagship I think I normally used was just Oyoro, so I could do the retreat during events.
Oh, the
yeah.
repair update, yeah. I mean, yeah, the thing with Oidos, like, even there's always an event, and it's really hard.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
she can dish out as well, like, the planes and everything.
yeah. Oyoro saves runs pretty much. Like it's just a lifeline of just yeah, I don't want these ships to get like sunk, so if they're Taiha, go home.
Go home, yeah. I go home.
Because man, seeing Taiha is just like
That's I know, like Taiha and everything. Like I think I only Taiha one. It's pretty much like Hibiki. That's it. Then after that one, I was like, nope,
yeah,
not anymore.
Sunk ships are just like oh.
I mean, the thing, like, yeah, levels and everything. You have to restart.
Yeah, it's so brutal because leveling stuff in Cancol takes forever. Even if you do PvP leveling, even if you do optimal flagship plus trainership plus
flagship.
everything,
Yeah.
it still takes so long. Well, flagship MVP,
I used to have like a calculator for like the leveling actually.
yeah,
And I count my runs and everything. It's like, oh, it's only 80 runs, you know?
yeah.
This kind of stuff.
It's only 80 more runs. Yeah, that's what I told myself when I was doing. I think which one was it? It was either Katsuragi or Poi. I think.
Oh, that's what I get the new. That's it. Yeah, that's true. Mine was like, around that time I was like leveling Kasumi as well. Kasumi then Hibiki.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like the destroyer based events. So I was like trying to really
Yeah.
go ham.
The destroyer-based events were very night battle centric. So when you had good night battlers, then yeah, you were good to go. Because good
That's why I always have Sendai on the front.
Sendai, god damn it. yes. The Yasen Baka.
Yeah, so I mean, Yasen's model is actually based off
Yeah,
Sendai. So I was like,
know.
huh.
It's one of the first things he. Like when I asked him the question about inspiration, he was like, yes, a certain ship from a certain game. I'm like, I know exactly which one.
Like, oh boy, who could it be?
Who could it be? This guy's name totally is not Yes.
Yeah, say Yasen.
Yeah,
With the scarf as well.
the scarf. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's Sendai. That's definitely Sendai.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's totally Sendai.
Man.
Also, like being a ninja and everything, it's like, oh, it's totally Sendai.
Yep. That was a good laugh to find out. I was like, yep, okay, how didn't I see this before?
Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, Sendai's design is like so good and everything.
Mhm. I really liked I liked the Jinsu sisters. They had a really nice design.
I mean, I think one of my first Kainu was also Sendai, so it's one of the remarkable ships that I know.
I think she might have been my third or fourth one because I had needed light cruisers, so I was like, yeah, let's go for Sendai.
And I think around that time, like the Sendai sister is actually like one of the best light cruisers as well.
Yeah, they were really good because I also did I did Jinsu and Naka afterwards as well.
Yeah, even if you meme knockout, but she's actually really strong on Tiny.
Naka's still a weird case for me because I don't know. I have there are two different voices for Naka stuck in my head simply because there was this one fan, like I'd say fan cover disc essentially, or just doujinshi music for Kankol, and it was like, oh,
Oh,
one of them pretending to be Naka and singing. I'm like, wait, this is very close to the original Naka, so what the heck?
a power of voice acting.
Yeah. Like, man, the amount of doujinshi sort of stuff that Kankol spawned off was second at the time only to Toho, for the most part.
Toho, yeah.
And
If I recall, it was Toho, then Cat Gold, and Idol Master.
yeah, very much.
The big three.
Those would be
around
the
the
big
time.
three. And nowadays it's just FGO, just stomps everything, pretty much.
FGO, then actually there's more Idol Master.
Like there was one year where FGO managed to take over even Toho, and that was just like, holy
yeah.
hell, yeah. That was
That's
2-3 years ago, I think, something like that. It was around like Lost Belt.
Oh yeah, then yeah, Lost Belt. Like, there's too many stuff for Lost Belt to draw and everything. Especially like where. Also, like I think Grand Blue started popping off with the third anniversary
Oh
with
yeah,
the sandal
definitely.
the sandal fall event. I mean, it was the story and everything was so good, so I was like, I'm really pretty happy about it.
Man, I don't play Grand Blue, and even I've heard of that.
See, yeah, the sandal fall event was like, it's one of the turning points for Grand Blue because they got more popular on the West as well.
Like
It's totally because of the angel's name, Lucifer, Belial, Sandalfall.
Well, one thing I can't get over is how sometimes Grand Blue's translation is really scuffed for the English translation.
It does.
Like, holy hell, some of that is not proper English, but at the same time I can tell it's not necessarily a fault of the translation itself, it is more a fault of the programming behind the translation.
Programming. Also, like some of them are like actually different language. Like let's say like the Eternals, some of them are like different language, Hebrew, Arabic.
Oh my.
So yeah, the translation is like some of the translation are weird and everything.
Because
But yeah, you cannot really blame.
Because yeah, the main thing would be there's the main summoning line and then flavor text, blah blah blah, and what they
Flavor
are.
text.
The issue there would likely be within the programming, it is likely just calling on a certain string to display instead of like individual lines. Therefore, it's not fully translated in the way you'd expect. Because in Japanese, it'd be very easy to just insert those strings and just put them there as in like, oh, you have summoned this character. They are blah 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 of blah blah blah.
Well, it's different.
Go check out their story. In the English, it reads very awkwardly because it'll then read, you have summoned whatever their name was. Then it was like, they are blah blah, weird incomprehensible English that follows. And it's like, eh.
I know.
But yeah,
that's pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's more a fault on the programming than it is the actual translation itself. So it's fine when you get used to it.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like, I just got used to it, and I just don't give a fuck anymore. If they got like the translation long, especially with like the Fate episodes or the story base, the story of the character. Some of them are like weirdly translated. Which is like, it doesn't. If you try to listen to the Japanese, it makes sense. But when you try to translate it, it would sound so different.
Alright, and also the bar that Psy Games goes under is just like, oh man, they put in a ridiculous amount of effort for their games, specifically.
I mean, Psy Games have like a lot of games actually. Idol Master, Princess Connect, Grand Blue Fantasy, and Regalia Lost. Then Shadowverse, the pinball game as well.
Hey, I mean, they're Uma Musume as well.
Uma Musume, yeah. So they have like the big titles actually.
Yeah. Like, the main thing is they put in a ridiculous amount of effort to them, though. It's like, oh, yeah, you didn't expect this line to be voiced? Yeah, this line is voiced. Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't expect unique art for this part? Oh, no, there's unique art here.
I think that's actually one of the things that they always compare with Grand Blue and Fate Go, Fate Grand Order.
Yeah.
The story on Grand Blue is voiced and everything. While for FGO,
it's
it's
silent, yeah. It's silent
it's one
apart
of the
from sound effects, so it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit dry.
So yeah, that's like a lot of people like compare how FGO and GBF in terms of like the voice actors and voice actresses.
Mhm.
Because I think Grand will like pay like a lot for voice actors and voice actresses.
Yeah, there's a lot of very expensive ones there for sure.
But then for for Fate, for Fate,
yeah.
they only hire for like certain lines, then the main flavor text and everything.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the things that really gets me about Grand Blue and Psy Games in general is like their in-house art team is just ridiculously good.
It does.
Like, thing with it is like, oh yeah, all these people are in-house, not like contracted out or anything. This is just, yes, this is their core art team. It's like, oh god.
That's why like some characters have like the different version of the character themselves, so it's just pretty much like the voice actors coming back for recording it again.
Yeah, like the art is extremely consistent throughout most of the games. It's just like, damn, what the heck?
I mean, it's the one who did like Final Fantasy Tactics and everything, so it's still like a big name in terms of like industry on the games in Japan and everything.
Yeah. Like the thing is, when I see, let's see, when I say Shadowverse cards, and I'm just like, wow, these all consistently look great, except for maybe a few which look like weird CGI stuff. But yeah, everything else looks bloody amazing. Even to the point where like common cards look way too good to be common cards. It's just like, why is this a common? A common in Shadowverse looks like a legendary out of any other card game out there.
Yeah, you can see that they give effort in terms of like how they do their gacha games and everything and their cards.
Yep. Because man, Psy Games it's a wild hole to go down.
It does, because like you can see like the different gacha games and everything with what that Psy Games work with, as well as the companies as well.
No, then they do a lot of the collabs and crossovers.
So yeah,
because now you all of a sudden have Shadowverse in Grand Blue,
Grand Blue
in Shadowverse.
That's the thing with like having a lot of gacha games, because Idol Master Grand Blue Idol Master.
Yeah, they do that as well.
I can imagine that probably some characters from other games will come to Uma Musume for no reason at all.
Oh god, for whatever reason, them giving them ears, making them run.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But I can imagine it's gonna be like something related to the game itself, like because Grand Blue there's like a lot of races, so they add like course like character on Uma Musume because of it.
I think the dodgiest meme edit I've seen, or meme piece of art I've seen someone do was, let's see, they grabbed the cat sorcerer out of Princess Connect, gave her a runner jersey, and then threw her into Uma Musume just as a piece of art. And I was like, wait, what the?
It's pretty much like how creative or like how dumb side games do stuff, but then it's on the end it still works.
Like, man, it's dumb, but the production value is so high that it stops being dumb anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, they very much know how to market their stuff and get stuff out there, though.
Yeah, they do. That's why their games are really popular and everything, because they know how to properly market, as well as they're trying to expand more into the West as well.
Yeah, because a lot of gacha companies tend to be very hostile to expanding out into the West, particularly fast. because it's like, yeah, maybe they won't understand culture or maybe they won't buy in or whatever. But then, yeah, you get Psy games, which is like, yeah, we'll port this over. We'll port this over.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, Princess Connect. There's already on English already.
Yeah.
Well, for Grand Blue, they they gave translation for it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can see like how versatile side games is in terms of like the gacha games. Not like
Yep.
I mean, not like Fate Grand Order that took a while for it.
They're 2 years behind. Complete 2 years
Yes.
behind. And restricted 2 years behind.
So yeah, it's always like.
It's kind of odd because a lot of gacha games usually try to catch up with their original server.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So, for instance, Arknights was sped up schedule. GFL was a very sped up schedule. Yeah.
Azure Lane as well.
Yeah. Azure Lane was a ridiculously sped up schedule because they did like an event
It was
every
it was, like,
couple
so
of weeks.
fast and
Like really fast. There was no downtime whatsoever.
But then yeah, look at Fate Grand Order. It's gonna be like snail pace.
Yeah, Fate Grand Order is very snail's pace because everything is only when it's supposed to be.
So I'm like, nope, I won't play anymore.
Like, yeah, the only weird one for NA release of FGO was the fact that they have Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, that's actually weird as well.
Yeah, they just have Thanksgiving specifically. And then for GFL, they had a lot of weird off-season events and just dragging certain things forward. So the English and Japanese client, or English-Japanese client is very different from the Korean and Chinese client.
Because I mean, it's really sped up. I mean, it's far behind like the English as well as the JP.
Yeah. Like JP is even further behind than English, so it's like, man. I don't know, GFL's nice, I will say. Like, I've got people which still play it to this day, even.
It does. Also, like, a lot of people are still waiting for GFL 2.
GFL 2, when I saw it, I was like, this is XCOM.
It's way different from what it used to be. It's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, okay.
It's like, this is XCOM. I actually approve.
Yeah, at least I mean, that's why one of the reasons why I'm not playing right now is like I'm just gonna wait for the 2.
2, where the characters are going to be named instead of having guns. For the
Yes,
names.
that's why like it's gonna be weird, but
It opens up a lot of story opportunities instead. But yeah, it's an entirely new route to take.
yeah, it's something unexpected from what the game used to be, because yeah, the first game is like way different.
Mm-hmm.
But then yeah, with the addition of GFL 2, it's like gonna be different. It's gonna be it's a breath of fresh air.
Yep, definitely. Anyhow, we've been going on for about 3 hours and 20 minutes, so I will shove you one final question and then we'll probably end it off on there.
Okay.
Alright, so how long do you see yourself doing this whole streaming thing for?
That's actually something I've been thinking every time as well. Probably, I don't know. Everything is just a hobby and everything. So if it gets longer, I guess it's fine. But I won't be streaming like too much as I used to be.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, in a way that's why I don't have a time in everything, because yeah, it's like it will based on everything, how like the schedule and like IRL stuff. But for sure I'll go for like a 1 year, which is really approaching fast.
Alright, fair enough. Stick it for the year.
Yeah, good for a year, but then yeah, everything would be different if ever.
Hey, I mean, you have 2.0 coming up sooner or later, whenever that drops around.
Yeah. Although I'm planning actually like the 2.0 for like the anniversary.
Oh, damn! All right.
So yeah, it's gonna be like an event or something.
All right then. Yeah. All right. We'll cut things there. In which case, it was great having you on. Let's see
Thank you for having me here.
Hey. Let's see if I can't find someone to raid at this time of day. Because there's usually somebody. Usually.
Usually, yeah, people are usually like streaming around this time. A lot of them.
Let's see. Oh man, there's like 12
A
people
lot.
I know. 12 people I know that are just straight up streaming right now. Christ. Alright, let's see. I could raid the guy who hates being raided.
Don't do it.
Yeah, no, that would be a bit too mean. Let's see. Let's see. Sure, I'll toss it off to a friend then, in which case. Oh, nope. That was not who I clicked on. There we go. Alright, odds are they're getting very salty in League right now, but hey.
Oh no, League.
Hey Casca, yeah, you probably figured. Yeah, you just came in right at the end, and I'm about to send you over to your wife, dude. Alright. Okay, thanks for coming along, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright, and in 3, 2, and 1, we are off